for them. First practice, remember, not padded or anything, but first practice tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We'll have a member of the Chiefs join us each and every day that we are up in St. Joe as well. So it's here, man. Like it essentially is here. I know tomorrow's when we're up there, but
camp starts and football's close.
Yeah, football is very near. We're 45, 46 days away from the start of the season. We're obviously only a week and a half or so away from the Hall of Fame game preseason. If you need your
How close to a Chiefs preseason game? We got to be close,
August
right?
9th or 6th or something like that.
Man, only a few, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks from that too.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Okay. It does start to feel very real in the football season sense once we get to the
For sure.
The actual, we're spending time up in St. Joe.
We got people texting about fantasy football. We're starting to get that. People are asking us about the Guillotine League. It's that time of the year, man. We're getting all those questions.
That's right.
People are trying to figure out their keepers if they hadn't already select them already for fantasy football. It is it's the good time of the year we're about to get to, man.
I have not figured out my keepers for fantasy. Should we just go over that for the next 4 hours?
I got a rough idea. We'll have to get Charch on the show here very soon. Pre-draft Charch, and then we'll have him on throughout the season, we hope as well.
Yeah, I need to know who to target. Who to go for, who to keep on the squad, all the things to kind of go with it. But yeah, no, it's around the corner. We'll be at camp tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hope to see some of you out there. We'll be out there Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday this week, but pretty much 3 times a week throughout camp. So you got a pretty good chance if you're going during the week to catch Alex or I up there in St. Joe.
You guys can watch us on the video stream as well while we're in studio, at least until we go up there. The
video stream will still continue, and I'll stay on the chats, but you'll be looking at 3D printed figures of us.
Yes, or whatever Drew decides to put in front of our cameras. Who knows? Maybe he's got something up his sleeve or something.
I'm going to have to get
Yeah,
creative.
maybe Drew's got
He's
something.
going to print out a photo of you in that goatee.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
Drew. We'll see how much effort Drew puts into to that as well. There's a random bag that has your name on it. I just noticed, Cody, over there.
Oh, yeah, I brought that in studio.
Okay,
I meant to sit over there. You're good.
Okay, I'm very confused by
that. It says to Cody.
And I know, and I'm like,
what's a secret? You'll never know now.
What's in the bag? Anyway, video stream up and running. You can watch Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the show. Plus, you can always hit us up on the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Hope you guys had a great weekend. A weird Monday morning, right? We don't get a ton of these early morning, Monday morning shows where we're doing a show while it's pitch black outside and there's thunderstorms. It's kind of weird. We were saying it feels like we're doing a show at night, like 9 o'clock at night. It's
you and I both done night shows. You remember what that was like?
Yeah, just we don't normally have that going on while we're in studio. So it's very dark in the studio right now. But anyway, let's talk about the news of the weekend and what will take us into training camp today and tomorrow. And that, of course, is George Karlaftis getting that 4-year contract extension, $93 million, $62 million guaranteed. That puts him 10th among edge rushers, according to SpotTrack, in at least annual average salary, 23.25, and then 8th right now in guaranteed money. So a couple things with this. Number one, I'm surprised that it got done so quickly after the Trey Smith deal. I told you last week, we asked the question, if you could only sign Trent McDuffie or Karlaftis, who would you sign?
And we all said McDuffie.
And my answer is still that today, even though they signed, George Karlaftis. My answer would still be, if I could only keep one long term, I would choose McDuffie. That's not to say I hate the deal. As long as it doesn't prevent you at some point in the next 12 months from getting a deal done with McDuffie. It doesn't even have to happen before the season starts. Now, the number I think on McDuffie is kind of the number. We're going to talk more about him in a second.
Today it is, yeah.
Yeah. But George Karlaftis, here's why I like the deal. And I honestly, I was confused by a few tweets and reaction that I saw immediately after saying, why do they have to do this now? I think it's actually fairly simple why they at least felt like they wanted to accomplish this. One, George Karlaftis clearly was willing to get a deal done early. He didn't have to. He had 2 years left on his rookie contract. So he has to be a willing party in this, and he was. And if you believe George Karlaftis is capable of being a double-digit sack guy consistently in his career over the next 4 years, then this is a steal. It'll end up being a great deal. If you're worried that he's going to just be a 7-sack guy, which was not what he has been really, then yeah, you're going to say, hey, he's making the 10th most money among edge rushers. Is he a top 10 edge rusher in football right this second? No. But you're paying for, hopefully, the future. A lot of times you pay for what they did in the past, and it doesn't mean you get the production in the future. This is one of those deals where I think they're, for day one, you can say that they're paying him more than what his exact production has been. But when you compare it to Greg Rousseau of Buffalo, we all knew he was going to get more than him.
Yeah.
And over the last what is it, 3 years? He has just as many sacks as Rousseau had in the last 4 years.
Rousseau technically has more pressures and quarterback hits, so he's slightly more efficient in that area, but yeah.
I have no problem with the deal because I think we're going to sit back in 2 years, Cody, and we're going to say, wow, you know what? Across the 6 years of the deal, because remember, they added 4. Across 6 years, it's $17.5 million a year.
So the way I view it, and look, $17.5 million a year, I do think that's like I think that's more of a Chiefs spin if we look at it that way because he's not making anything this year. That's how rookies work. All guys on a rookie contract in their third year aren't going to really make a ton of money, but I get your point.
Yep.
Like when you stretch it out, I feel like that's a bit of a Chiefs slant in the sense that it does soften it.
Fine, either way, look at it for the 4 and
the 23.
23. I think we're going to be sitting back in 2 years and say that's pretty darn good too.
I don't hate it. I think it'd be hard to hate it. I am in the camp of, did you have to do it yet? And their whole thing is, my sense is, you do have to do it if you think what you said. If the Chiefs genuinely believe he is an on average 8 to 10 sack guy each of the next 2 seasons, then you did have to do it. If there's any kind of fallback in play, this deal's going to look bad in a hurry. That's the only issue is like he gets to a 6 sack year, then you're going to be like, whoa. Anytime in the next 2 years, you're going to be like, why did you jump the gun on this thing? For the same reasons we talked about, that you could ride out one of these contracts. McDuffie or Karlaftis, if you had chosen to, could have played on year 3, could have played on year 4, could have played in the 5th year add-on year that they picked up for both of those guys, and then could have still been franchise tags. You technically still had 3 years left to Karlaftis or 3 years left to McDuffie if you wanted to without a contract extension. The $23 million is pretty close to what the tag number was for defensive ends last year. Now, 2 years from now, it won't be quite that. So it's like, but you could have paid him less than, in my opinion, $23 million a year for the next 3 years. So this deal's got to be, weirdly enough, about years 4 through 6, more than 1 through 3, because you're overpaying for year 1 through 3 at $18 million a year. You're underpaying years 4 through 6 at $23 million or $18 million a year if you just factor in all the years. So just a matter of, is this a 10-year NFL player who gets 8 to 10 sacks a year? If he gets that, then he's worth the deal. Good news is, I think he probably is that player.
I would bet that is probably...
That's right around where I think he's I don't think there's some hidden 15 and a half sacks.
I would agree. I don't think suddenly he's turning into TJ Watt, and I don't think anybody's suggesting that. I also think what's important, this is a player that's been healthy, too. Sometimes you hand out these deals and you worry about this is a guy that just hadn't been able to stay healthy. That's not what we're talking about with Karlaftis. He played in all 17 games his rookie year, and he's played in 16 the last 2. It would have been 17 if it weren't for the fact that they didn't need the 17th game, right? Just like a quarterback would be. So, last year, if you're wondering, his sack numbers, 8 sacks last year, 10.5 the year before, 6 his rookie season. Remember, he got off to a slow start the first 6 games of his rookie year, and then he turned it on and turned into a pretty... He was getting the
quarterback, but didn't get any sacks for the first 8 or 9 games.
Is it a deal without any risk? Of course not. Of course not. There's a risk anytime you're signing a massive contract like this over 4 years, giving an extension. Of course, there's some risk. I think there's risk, but also I'm not all that concerned that this one's going to come back and bite them in the rear in a couple years. As I said to start, I'm fine as long as this does not deter you at some point from getting a deal done with McDuffie. Then I'll have a problem because I would still lock up McDuffie before I would Karlaftis. My guess of why they did this deal first, one, the potential number goes up quicker for Karlaftis than it could for McDuffie. Sauce Gardner's already been paid. All these other guys have already been paid.
He needs to be paid $100,000 more than the guy who just got
You kind of feel like you know the McDuffie number. So that's part of it. Whereas Karlaftis, you still, not that he's in the category of Trey Hendrickson or anything, but you have Michael Parsons and Trey Hendrickson who haven't got paid yet. If Karlaftis goes out there and has a 10.5 sack season, which he did a year ago, not last year, but the year before, then all of a sudden the number keeps going up. That number has a chance to, if everything went perfect, I'm not saying it will, there's a chance that number could cost you $30 million a year, and so you're getting it at 23 during the extension.
That scenario is if he takes a Max Crosby leap and he's 15 sacks this year.
Or I would argue I would argue if he's like a 12.5 sack guy even. That's the potential cost. Whereas McDuffie, he's never a big interception guy anyway, but by whatever metric you want, he's already viewed as a top corner in the league. If McDuffie takes another leap, I guess it would just be via interception. The number's not going up as much.
Only as much as the cap would go up in any given year. So it might cost you 5% more.
That's probably the argument of why you get Karlaftis done first. And also, do we know if McDuffie's willing to not ride out the rookie deal and get a deal done early? Because otherwise I would have done Karlaftis after McDuffie, but maybe that's why this is the deal that got done first.
This is the tough part, because if you've been an open critic of like, look at the dumb Cowboys always waiting too long to sign their players and always wait to the last damn minute. And I'll be honest, a complaint I have had about Brett Veach is sometimes I think he waits a little long in order to get a few deals done. As a result of that, some guys have been a little more costly, and they've been able to avoid it because Patrick Mahomes' deal has been so good, it didn't matter. But I thought they waited too long on Chris Jones. It cost him a whole extra year. I was worried they were going to wait too long on Trey Smith, and maybe should have worked it out a year in advance. So if they're waiting till the very end, like these guys are franchise tagged or free agents to sign them, that's maximum dollar amount. If they're still very good players. The only way Karlaftis' number was going to go down at the end of this year, let's say, if they were just going to sign him at the end of this year, is if he was a 5 or 6 sack player.
I would say it would have to almost get hurt.
At the worst, it was going to stay the same. So like waiting a year is probably not going to do it. The reason why I'm okay with the signature on the contract today is because the only other way I would have probably played it Gold is writing it all the way out. The way I described to you, where you take 3 years and you wait till the bitter end to pay the player and you figure it out then. When the cap's different and different guys are gone and Chris Jones is nearing the end of his career and a million other things. Because that's the other part about signing George Karlaftis is, without George Karlaftis under contract for the next 6 years, what is your feeling of the security of the defensive line in the future? It's really just down to how many years you think Chris Jones has left, because you got 2 unknowns in Norman Lott and Gelati, and FAU, who looks like a known but in the not good category. Like, you don't have any future on the defensive line in the sack category if you don't lock up George Karlaftis.
Yeah, I am for 6 years.
At least I know one player on the defensive line can get to the quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, he's under contract for another 6 years. And for him, if you're asking why would he get the deal done early, well, he's got a chance still because he's young that he could get another deal, multi-year big deal, when he's before 30, when he's, 29, 30 years old. So it's beneficial to both of them, both parties, I should say, the Chiefs and for Karlaftis. They get this done. And yeah, the question is McDuffie, and I don't know where you're at on him now. You think this is something we're talking about next offseason? I kind of do. Do you think there's any chance they still get this thing done this year? Do they wait till next year when Jawan Taylor or Travis Kelce are off the books, most likely? And that's where they're at.
Yeah, I guess like if you got the cap space, I would actually make an argument you should give them a raise this year and spread the cap hit out. Make it the same average annual, but for when the cap numbers eventually go up. If you got the space this year, start paying somebody now. Like Trent McDuffie doesn't make any money now. You sure you don't just want him to make $10 million this year? So at the back end of this deal, he's not making the 35 per or whatever it would be. I know teams backload contracts, and for a variety of reasons, one of which being the cap continues to go up. McDuffie now, so like what this means for McDuffie, right? I still hope it means they get a deal done with him. But I'll be honest, them signing him makes me feel like they're worried that deal's not happening quick and that Trent McDuffie's not in a hurry, because his deal should have been signed the day after Sauce Gardner's. There's no more numbers left to figure out. We know exactly, I know almost to the number, exactly what Trent McDuffie should ask for and should get. It was $30.1 million for Sauce Gardner. It'll be $30.2 million for Trent McDuffie, and whatever the signing bonus, I can't remember the exact numbers, like $80 million in guarantee.
60, I think.
Yeah,
it was like the guaranteed amount.
Yeah, okay. So whatever the total guarantees versus new contract money guarantees, whatever, it's $1 million or $2 million more than that. His number is as easy as it gets to figure out. So if he doesn't sign in the next 10 days, I don't think it's this year. Like, it should happen pretty immediate, because there's no other thing. The Chiefs aren't figuring out another contract. They just signed Karlaftis. They're not negotiating anything else right now.
Yeah, I would say it'd be pretty impressive if you told me they still got McDuffie done before the start of the season. I think there's a chance. Otherwise, I think we're probably talking next February and March about this being, all right, what are they going to do here? And what's that going to look like? They signed Nick Bolton to an extension. They get Trey Smith done on an extension. They get Karlaftis on an extension. If you actually think about teams, especially who are in the win now mode in the era that the Chiefs are in, this is not a team rebuilding or anything like that. The fact that they have retained Karlaftis, Trey Smith, and Nick Bolton in the same offseason, and there's still, a percentage chance that they do that with McDuffie, that's a pretty impressive offseason. For all the talk about, I know you were mentioning waiting to when they sign some of their homegrown guys or whatever, but they've taken care of most of these guys over the last couple of years. You really think about it.
Draft class is getting an extension.
Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith and Nick Bolton and Karlaftis. I mean, we always mention what that means for a locker room and all that. It shows, hey, if you're a guy that we draft and you turn out to be a star player or a stud, and you handle your business and don't have any off the field problems, like, we'll take care of you. That's a strong message that I think resonates pretty well in a locker room, especially as you're about to head up to training camp. Everybody knows, like, it's no secret. All those guys in the locker room know that Trey Smith just got paid, and that Karlaftis just got paid, and Bolton got taken care of and paid earlier this offseason as well. That's a good thing that you have in terms of locker room and relationship, I think, with the front office, too.
I think a lot of it speaks to, and maybe we could do a bigger conversation on it, but a lot of it speaks to the fact that I think Brett Veach is getting a handle on the draft a little bit. The first year was a disaster. There's not a single player they gave a second contract to other than a one-year deal to Derek Nottie. He was technically a free agent. They didn't, sign him to an extension. He was just a free agent, and they brought him back. They brought McCole Hardman back a couple of times. Didn't sign Juan Thornhill, so nobody else in that crew got a second contract. They eventually let Allegretti walk. That was the next best pick. The year after that, they didn't give Snead a pick. Niang, Willie Gay, Clyde, none of those guys. So you're like, the first 3 years are like, man, you didn't give contracts to anybody. You just let those guys walk, you redrafted, and you dealt with it. Since then, they have given extensions. Since 2021, they have given extensions to Nick Bolton, Creed Humphrey, Noah Gray, Trey Smith, George Karlaftis, and we assume they probably will eventually, Trent McDuffie, we'll see. And still on the team in 2022 is right now Sky Moore, Brian Cook, Leo Chanel, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson, Isaiah Pacheco, and Najee Johnson. All still contributing members of the team. I know that 2-year run is what made the dynasty possible, but he's also paying the players that are worth keeping around for that run. He's going to have to stay that hot there for a while. And look, over the last year's draft, I don't think that the Xavier Worthy draft, he could probably get an extension. I don't think anybody else in that crew is.
I still maintain, despite the track record at corner of, moving on from Ward and moving on from Snead and the trade and everything, I still view McDuffie just differently than those guys. He's just a better player than those guys. I understand you'd say they don't pay him, they just move on. I get the track record. I just think McDuffie's different. Now, maybe it results in what you were describing, which is, hey, this is going to be a tough contract to negotiate. Not that we don't know the number, but just maybe the Chiefs aren't willing to pay that for a corner. Yeah. So they're going to drag this out, and he's going to play out the final year, and they're going to then tag him. They're going to draw this out as long as possible. Maybe that's how they approach this. I don't know. I tend to think, and I think you do as well, that as we've talked about the pillars of the next era, and eventually here, Kelsey's not going to be on that poster anymore, and you're not going to have Chris Jones on that poster of the marketing, if you will, of the franchise. It'll be Mahomes, and then who are the other 2 or 3 faces? Mahomes, and I still think Trent McDuffie is that guy.
Same.
Karlaftis clearly is now as well. If you want to put an offensive lineman on there, Trey Smith is that as well. Who are those 3 or 4 pillars going to be moving forward? It's Mahomes, it's Karlaftis now. Is the third face McDuffie, or is it going to be somebody that's not even on the roster?
Yeah, because I don't think it can be Trey and Creed.
Right.
I don't think it can very well be 2 different offensive linemen. But the numbers still support it. Most teams can support, just as long as you're good with the cap, 5 high-priced players, in my opinion. So right now, being paid at the same time.
Sure, I got you.
3 to 5 being paid at the same time. Because the thing to note at the moment is, right now, Trey Smith is not that highly paid, and Trent McDuffie is not that highly paid, and George Karlaftis isn't highly paid. As far as their cap numbers this year, they're not that highly paid. They're not expensive players yet. By the time George Karlaftis, the expensive players in the Chiefs right now are Patrick Mahomes, who's a $29 million cap hit, Jawan Taylor, who's a $27 million cap hit, Chris Jones, who's a $24 million cap hit, Kelsey, who's about a $20 million cap hit.
Those are 3 of those guys, or 2 of them, there's a chance are gone next year. Yeah. The third could be gone in 2 or 3 years.
And Trey Smith, who makes about $15 million a year. Okay, so Trey stays as a high-priced player. Patrick Mahomes' number just keeps getting messed with because you can always lower it based on where it is. Yeah, no Jawan, no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelsey in the next 3 years. 2 of those guys will be gone by a year, like you said. And, Chris Jones, maybe a couple more. And then they cycle in once the big number kicks in 2 years from now for Karlaftis, 2 years from now from Trent McDuffie. And they're just cycling those things through. It's good business to have those guys. The difference is, and I prefer it this way, the difference is that I think they've had more high-priced talent on guys who they had to pick up. Now all their high-priced players are going to be guys they took. And I think that it's better for an organization across the board when it's a guy that you can just not have to go out and overpay. Jawan Taylor
what free agency is. Yeah, that's what free agency is. You end up overpaying. I don't care what organization it is. If you're talking about at premium positions, you're always going to overpay. Yeah, the only reason why you are a dynasty, the way the Patriots were, the way the Chiefs have been, is because you drafted well. And then when you stop drafting well, that's when it becomes very challenging, even if you have the quarterback. But they're in an era right now where they continue to hit. Let's see this year. We're going to find out fairly quickly. What about this year's draft? And the key really for the entire class is going to be Josh Simmons. We all know that. Like, I'm not saying that, hey, if Norman Lott turns out to be a great player, then Gelati as well. By the way, good news, all their rookies are signed. We don't have to worry about that. They're good to go. Yeah, I know in Kansas City there wasn't as much concern as maybe in some other places with signing their picks. But yes, they got that done. And we'll be up in training camp tomorrow, broadcasting live from St. Joe. Coming up in 9 minutes, we'll talk some Royals baseball. Just a disappointing opening series post All-Star break. My goodness, they dropped 2 of 3 against the Marlins. And we'll talk about the back end of the bullpen and also get back into some injury news on the Chiefs front, though, and who's not going to be available day 1 of camp tomorrow. But we got an update over the weekend. I'm sure you saw the astronomer CEO, the Coldplay couple, the Coldplay CEO, essentially. That whole thing. You see he resigned over the weekend. The pressure mounted.
What choice did he have?
Well, the board of directors held a meeting, and they basically were like, hey, man, we can fire you or you can just resign. That's essentially what happened. They released a statement on Saturday saying that this guy, this Andy Byron or whatever, has tendered his resignation. The board of directors has accepted it. They are committed to the values and culture that have guided us.
I saw the video from Coldplay at their next show. And
oh, jeez.
Hey, guys, we are going to put some people up here. Would love to talk to and see some of the fans, but like essentially be cool, because I imagine for them it's tough because it's a viral moment in which people are talking about your band, but a person who was at your concert absolutely killed it. So they were trying to throw a little ice, I think, on the situation rather than,
the rest of the country seems
I
to
will
be
say,
throwing the
dude,
flames on it. It's miserable.
Every single sporting event.
The Phillies one was great with the Fanatic, their mascot. They had the 2 Fanatics there.
Have you guys enjoyed that?
It. Yeah,
I have not. It is
You're
over,
done?
It is outplayed already. It is overdone.
Well, today's the last
2
day.
days in.
I mean, today's the last day we're talking about it on the show. I mean, it's done. Yeah, today's
I'm
the
just
last
saying
day.
the whole Coldplay cam thing. That ran its course. It ran its course already.
I mean, I saw T-Mobile post on Friday.
Drew. I mean,
away.
I don't think that the Royals, when they come back home, this weekend, are going to be, and they shouldn't at least be trying to do it on a Friday night. I'm with you there, but the Phillies did it the same week of the entire news. And they were the
48 hours after.
And it was the All-Star break. They did it the first possible chance they had to do it. I think that's fine. Now, if they keep doing it, which I don't think they will, for another week, that's different. But I think they did that one night and it was over. The Monarchs, as you said, Cody, did it on Friday or Saturday night as well.
Yeah. Pretty much every team.
I hope so. I just think it's just it's outplayed. It's unnecessary.
This CEO had the worst luck ever, though. I will say,
millions of people that cheated.
Yeah, look, I mean, hey, don't cheat and you don't have to worry about this, pal. But also, I will say the worst luck ever. I mean, the absolute worst luck ever. Yeah. One, because you happen to be caught on camera. The other part is if this was 1990, there's no social media.
The whole second family.
It's over. It's over. I'm for his wife's sake and everything. I'm glad she found out, right? But I'm just saying, in general, this dude's luck is the worst luck ever.
I mean, look at this. I was just looking at a news article because I was like, all right, let me because obviously a lot of people don't admit to doing this. So the numbers skew pretty wildly. But according to most recent data on this that included large scale studies, 31% of all affairs are conducted between coworkers, and between 15 and 25% of all people admit to cheating. So you got to imagine the numbers even higher than that. You got to imagine, that's just the people who are saying they're doing it. So, this guy is one of millions and millions of people do it, but, he got caught in the most public conceivable way of all time. And, I don't feel bad for the guy at all. Like you said, don't cheat, and this isn't a problem. But, whew, man, that is, it did not cool off this weekend.
No.
Every major sporting event, every major story. I can borderline guarantee you, Drew, that if you pop into a Halloween party in October, for the people who don't want to get a big scary costume, they'll throw on a blue polo and some khaki shorts and hug their significant other from behind, and someone will be rocking a Coldplay shirt.
The whole time they'll just be hugging each other that way.
Yeah. I'll just tell you right now, you're getting a refresh.
Ridiculous.
Come Halloween time. That's when you'll see it again, Gold. You won't hear it. You won't hear it for a while. Come October,
I think there'll be
a lot of Coldplay couple costumes,
and that'll be overplayed too. At that point,
it's the exact same thing as a song that just runs its course and it doesn't need to be played again. It doesn't need the Coldplay cam needs to go away. I know that people are going to do it for Halloween, but it's just going to be don't be one of those people. Essentially, Like, really? You could have come up with anything more creative than
You're
that?
acting like this is
creativity's
weird. This
already
is a
left.
weird take. Like I understand from a conversation it needs to die and be over.
Yeah,
but the fact that the Coldplay camp, they did it on Friday night and that was it. You're acting like that the Phillies announced that they're doing it every night the rest of the year or something.
I just think that you don't need to do it. I think it's just you don't. The joke was already there.
Team White out here thinks we can't do
it.
gimmicks at stadiums now.
No, I know. Like you can do the kiss cam, but I don't understand why you have to continue on the reminder for not that this person's ex-wife, then this person's wife or the kids see anything, but who knows? Why do I need to see a reminder of everything? We don't need it.
Viral moments become jokes all the time.
Society is just terrible. Oh, it's just terrible.
I don't think based on this.
This is a representation of society making fun of something that actually is a terrible moment, a life-altering moment.
Where was this take last week? What happened to you?
Because you're saying we can't make fun of people now in life-altering.
No, hang on a second.
Okay.
I never made fun of them last week. I didn't think you guys were making fun of them last week either. I think that it's a mockery now that it's turned into a Coldplay cam. You don't need to do that.
Gotcha.
You just don't need to go that far.
Okay.
You said we shouldn't make fun of the worst moment of their life. I mean, look, if it was something like,
and hold on, it's not the CEO. I'm talking about the other. I'm talking about the wife and the kids. That or anybody else that's on the other side of it.
Yeah, sure. The CEO and the woman he was cheating with. I mean, there's no reason to feel bad for their decision making.
All right, up next, let's talk some Royals baseball. What happened over the weekend down in Miami, plus an update on who's not going to be ready day one of training camp for the Chiefs.
Watch Cody and Gold on YouTube by subscribing to the 96.5 YouTube channel. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hi, it's Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Be a part of history by attending Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri this summer and see the Chiefs up close. Make the trip to St. Joe something for you and your family to remember. Go to stjomo.com to view or download a free visitor guide and plan your trip. It's where the Pony Express started and Jesse James ended. That's stjomo.com for all the details to make your trip. Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri will be one you'll never forget. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
What we've been doing is pulling one of the people that sells a car every month and giving them a prize.
Give Me the VIN is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
David Ling sold your car last week.
I sold a 2020 RX 350.
Yep.
Yeah.
Open that check up and tell me what it says.
$25,000.
$25,000. Give me that. David Ling of Claremont, California is the latest winner in GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway.
$25,000. What am I getting for being here?
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul-away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
When it comes to back-to-school shopping at Target, you can choose not to choose. From getting what you need to expressing who you are. With prices that make every choice feel right, why not choose all of the above? From backpacks, bedazzled kicks, and picture day perfect styles as bold as they are. For bring your own lunch days to science project partner days, snack stash days, decorate your locker days, and paint outside the line days. All at prices that will definitely make your day. For all of the above, it's back to school at Target.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, a contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Coming up in 8 minutes, we'll get to who will not be available day one of training camp. Andy Reid spoke for the first time up in St. Joe for this training camp season. Laid out a couple names, one a little more interesting than the others, I think, that will not be there practicing day one. Might be off to the side or whatever. So that's coming up in just a bit. But let's talk a little Royals baseball. We were hoping to see out of the All-Star break a team that took care of business against the Marlins, but that just did not happen. They dropped 2 of 3 to the Marlins. They salvaged one yesterday because they had some offense. They scored, 7 runs in that game yesterday.
Scored offense on Friday, too.
They did on Friday. The back end of the bullpen suddenly is more of a question mark to go with the already offensive questions. It's a Marlins team that's not any good. I understand now, actually, the Marlins only have 3 fewer wins than you do. But
they've been playing good baseball for a little while.
They're ahead of they're the head of the Braves, I think, in their own division, everything like that. But this was extremely disappointing because you needed momentum from what you had potentially done in the week before the All-Star break. And we said, need to see the offense, need to see this team play well the first week out of the All-Star break heading into the trade deadline. Here we are, July 21st. The team drops 2 out of 3. They're in worse shape than they were. We talked about this last week. And then you go and you take on a Cubs team at Wrigley, who's one of the better teams in all of baseball right now. So that's not a gimme series by any means. No series is really a gimme series at this point in time. It's just continuing to set up more and more, Cody, where we've had, I don't even want to have like the buy-sell conversation. I think everybody has established where they're at, which is
I think most people want to sell now at this point.
Sure, and I'm fine with selling as well, but it's just, I think, once again, we talk about selling, and it's like, well, who? Like, we're all on the same page. If they want to sell Lugo, I don't think anybody's stopping you, okay?
I just don't think that counts as selling. We're talking like bigger
The only shift now, maybe, depending on the rest of the week, is guys with control, are you willing to sell? And so that goes into the Carlos Estevez conversation. He's been great. You know my feeling about the season that he's had, but he's got a year of control, but he's also a vet. He's not a young guy in this league anymore. Do you feel like next year you'd be okay with having Urseg and a Steven Cruz, unless you trade him, a Steven Cruz, and then you sign some other vet, and that's the back end of your bullpen? Are you good with Urseg being your closer next year? I think a lot of people, by the way, would say yes. So if that's the case, what could you get for Carlos? There's a lot of reports out there that I think the Mariners and 2 other teams are interested, as you would expect. The guy leads the league, American League, in saves.
Because of the depth in the bullpen, and because, I'll be honest, when I watch right now, Carlos Estevez and Lucas Urseg pitch, I worry that there is a cap of I'm worried that it could fail. I'm not saying it will or whatever. I think there's enough question marks around both of those players that if teams called, I'd certainly entertain. And especially if a team was willing to overpay on Urseg in particular, I would entertain. Estevez would be an almost must.
Urseg has too many years of control, I think, for me to do that. Yeah.
I understand, but he's no sure thing. He's never been a sure thing in his major league career. I understand. We watched what he did last year, and there's all the reasons.
I just
to
got
think
1, 2, 3, 4 more years, man.
I know
that's a lot.
I understand, and that's why someone would have to overpay in order to do it. But I do think, and look, it's not like Urseg's been bad. He's got a 2.5 ERA. Yeah. He had a 2.88 ERA before that. There's just a point in which I would entertain calls, certainly on Estevez. And I would, I would at least take the call.
Because you also want to compete in 26, right? I mean, this is a team that's made it very clear, no matter how you feel about the team right this second for 25, next year they are expecting to be contenders next year. And it's not a throw in the towel year next year. So you have to be a little cautious with, we're all on the same page, be sellers, but to what extent? If you trade Estevez and Urseg, that makes no sense. I think you would agree. You can't trade both, right? Because who the hell's on the back end of your bullpen next year? So you can trade one of them, and I would prefer Carlos between the two. That's all.
Partially because of time, but also because it feels like it's so funny about Carlos Estevez. And this just works because I think I genuinely think Royals fans are still broken on what a normal pitcher does because of Wade Davis. I don't think they I think generally speaking, this is not your fault. Me too. We all were broken a little bit by what Wade Davis was as a closer and think that's what every closer is. So for a huge chunk of the season, I thought fans were overplaying what they thought were real concerns with Carlos Estevez, which I would just call normal ups and downs here and there. He wasn't walking too many guys. He wasn't giving home runs. His ERA was good the entire time. His whip was good the entire time. You just felt like he was in trouble more because you remembered 1 or 2 starts in which he got in a little bit of trouble. Lately, that's not what it feels like. It just feels like he's pitching bad.
Yeah,
is bad, and feels like the concern of he's not getting it right now. That's more real than at any other point this season when people were trying to convince me he was bad and he wasn't. And now now he's pitching poorly. Yeah, and it is a real concern.
He blew 3 straight save chances before getting a save yesterday. One of them was an extra innings ghost runner one, but still.
Out.
But right, yeah, but yeah, exactly. But he's 26 for 32 in save opportunities. He's got a 2.74 ERA. He would be somebody that, especially where this is trending now, I would add him to the list. So put that in the Lugo, Lorenzen, Carlos category of guys that I'd be trading. That's about it, though, man. Those are the 3 guys. I don't really know who else you want them really to trade away at this point in time. Otherwise, you dip into the waters of guys with serious control that are if you're going to compete in 26, trading away Michael Garcia for 26 doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I think you're in this category of Lugo, Lorenzen, and Carlos at this point, and those would be the 3 names I actually think they could move. There's a chance they only move 2 of them, but those would be the 3 that I actually think that they might be willing to do at some point in time. We're 10 days away from the deadline, something like that?
Yeah, next the 31st, so 10 days. When you start looking at it, I guess, then there's the argument we start talking 26 of buying, but buying the same thing, control. Do you give up one of your better prospects for a player that helps you this year, but also can help you next year? If you come up short this year, so what? You trade it for your outfielder, who's also your outfielder next year.
Yeah, I
or
just
do you
wonder
just
in the
wait to solve
off-season.
that problem? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Or do you just wait to solve that problem? Because look, I can tell you the million of rumors you've heard or I've heard or all these other stuff because I know for a fact teams try to call about Chris Bubic, but I also am pretty confident that the asking price is of an absurdity level at the moment.
Should be.
That nobody's going to really pull the trigger, I don't think, on that deal with the Royals right now, in the sense that, like, they're not selling Chris Bubic, but if somebody just came forward and offered the world, they might figure out a way in order to do it, right? That's not a team, that's not a player they're calling around and be like, interested in Bubic? The players that they should be selling, we know that they're like, do you want Seth Lugo? Do you want Carlos Estevez? Those are the guys that you should be calling right now and be like, are you interested in those players? And not just waiting on the call.
And those are the only two that I actually think, that we mentioned that you're really going to get anything that of note. Like Michael Lorenzen, if he gets back healthy, you're getting either a random veteran bullpen guy or you're going to get some 19-year-old prospect in A-ball. I mean, you're probably not getting, you didn't give up much to get Lorenzen either. So, we went through that return. That was, Lorenzen was Walter Pennington, I think, wasn't it? Wasn't that that's the type of player we're talking about here. It's more of a Carlos and Lugo.
You could get another Cam Devaney type, What? Really? God, I'm so mad at Estevez now that you say it. He blew the Adam Frazier moment. You and I I was so mad at him.
People were not happy with me Friday night.
Adam Frazier.
A few people enjoyed it. Some people were not happy with my tweet.
2 RBI double, and I'm like, here we go. I'm going to come in on Monday, and you and I are going to be like, come on. Can we all just relax a little on the Adam Frazier, Cam Devaney, and then Estevez blew it. Then that was just like a busted conversation.
Yeah.
Can't even come in today.
There was a chunk of people that enjoyed it. There was a chunk of people very upset with me Friday night based off of that tweet about Adam Frazier.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There were some people were very upset. Very, very mad. Very mad. But that was Friday. We move on.
They were still mad on Friday about
what happened Friday night. And I sent out the tweet.
You sent it out before
I was sending out a very sarcastic tweet because we all know the reaction during the week. And all I said is, wow, see, that's why it took giving up the best prospect in Twitter history to get Adam Frazier. He might help him win a game. And then they lost the game. But he did. He did help them, In
fairness, he won the game. Carlos Estevez just lost it right after.
Yeah.
He had definitely
People didn't enjoy the
accomplished
sarcasm.
The
It's all
game
right.
winning.
It's Monday. We move on,
I was ready for that. I was excited for that to be a conversation on Friday very briefly. I was like, ooh, it's going to be so nice on Monday. Adam Frazier game-winning hit. They're going to win the series against the Marlins. No. And then instead they blew that game, lost on Saturday. I'm like, damn it. Way less juice. So, sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Chiefs training camp tomorrow. We're up there in St. Joe broadcasting live. Hope to see you guys there. And we now know a few players that will not be available day one of practice. The two names that really stand out on this, Jawan Taylor and Christian Fulton. Let's start with Jawan Taylor. That's significant. Now, Andy did mention in the same media availability last night up in St. Joe that he's the closest to coming back. Now, what does that mean? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? We don't know, right?
Closer in what sense? Week 5 instead of week 12 in the season?
I'm just wondering, is it a week of practice missed in St. Joe or is it 2 weeks of practice? I think it's something like that. What's the range? And it's significant because we all know you have Jalen Moore, who is going to compete with Josh Simmons there for the left tackle spot. We also know Simmons potentially could play right tackle. Moore could play right tackle. So Wanya Morris is there. So they're going to be rotating like 3 of these guys at left and right tackle, which will give them a ton of reps. But that's something to watch now at camp does the Jawan Taylor injury of some sort, we don't really know what it is, does that linger longer and does that cause there to be a surprise week 1 starter at a certain position? I don't think we're there yet. It's too early to say that he's missed too much time. He's a vet in this league. He would have to miss like all of camp for me to think he's not starting at right tackle week 1 of the season. But that's what we're going to be watching beginning tomorrow.
Yeah, it is concerning to me that both of those players, because they are both important players and for different reasons. One, I'm tired of having question marks on the offensive line. And now you're telling me that one of the guys we were anticipating starting on the offensive line will not begin with the team. And I get it. There's 6 weeks, 7 weeks until we get a regular season game?
45, 46 days.
Okay, so there's plenty of time remaining for Jawan Taylor to get healthy. The interesting part about Jawan Taylor is if there was a way he was going to lose his job to Jalen Moore and Joshua Simmons were going to be the 2 starters on the line, this is how it starts. This is how it would begin. If he was legitimately going to lose the job, he could start losing it early and then never really reaffirm his grasp on it or anything outside of it. I'm less worried about it because Andy said he was close. Fulton, why would we not pretend like this is a big deal? In the last 4 seasons, he has missed short amount of games, but a number of games each of the last 4 seasons, 15, 11, 12, and 13. He misses games. Couple here, few there, 4 there, 3 here. Man doesn't stay healthy. He is not the kind where you're like, oh, well, he only played 5, 6, 11, 11. He just misses a little bit of time in every single season. This could be yet another season of that. And they have pitched, and I think it's true, Fulton is variable enough in their defense. I thought it was going to get Trent McDuffie back to his strength.
Yeah.
And allow these other guys to kind of operate.
I like the signing. I still like the signing, but if he's further along or further away, I'm sorry, than Juwan Taylor, again, we don't know what the timeline is for Taylor, so it's hard to say, oh, that must mean it's heading into the start of the season. But it's one to watch. Do they have some guys in the short term that have experience? Of course, right? We know what you're getting out of Jalen Watson. We've seen Josh Williams. We've seen Najee Johnson even, right? So they have guys if it was a one-game thing. But yes, the downside is really like the Christian Fulton signing that it allows you some versatility in the secondary. And are you going to have that week 1 or not? So his feels like it could actually jeopardize week 1 of the season.
Yeah.
It's the flexibility that you're wanting to have for McDuffie that maybe you lose. In terms of, do they have someone that can give you play for a week or two? Yes.
They have the exact same secondary piece they had last year.
And I would argue it should be Jalen Watson. I think he's the better of the bunch of that group. Williams is a rookie. I know we've talked a lot about him. I just wonder, is week 1 too soon for him? As time goes on, he'll probably earn more playing time, or he impresses. Maybe, like best case scenario, Williams gets even more reps because of this, and he surprises, and he's a
day one starter.
Day one guy. And then, hey, that's a great problem to have at that point in time. But right this second, as we sit on July 21st, I would guess that the chance of him being the number 2 corner week 1 is slimmer than it just being Jalen Watson right now as we sit on July 21st.
It's not that I dislike the signing, because at the time I told you I liked the signing.
Yeah, I still like it.
The issue for me is still, though, you hate that you had 2 big offseason signings. One might not start and one might not play. And so that to me is always concerning. Like, your 2 biggest offseason signings from a financial perspective were the left tackle and corner. And one might not start if Joshua Simmons is good, and the other might not start if you're saying either Williams is good.
You're talking about Jalen Moore. Sorry, you're talking about Jalen Moore. I was trying to okay.
Jalen Moore.
Gotcha.
Jalen Moore and Christian Fulton were the biggest money you spent in the offseason. You're telling me neither are on the field? That's not a good.
The Jalen Moore one,
I don't think you pay either of them money if you're not thinking they're playing.
For the Jalen Moore one, though, if you tell me he never starts, I view that as in a weird way. Like, that means Josh Simmons turned out.
It worked out, so you'll take the price.
That one, I'm fine with. Hey, you cannot go into the season with the bad situation at left tackle again. You had to throw numbers at it. I'll give them a pass. If Jalen Moore doesn't play, that means Josh Simmons probably is pretty darn good and is healthy and all that. I'm with you, though, in general. Yeah, you would like to be available. The Christian Fulton sign, I don't remember the deal. I think it was a pretty small deal anyway, but nobody's saying he's out for the season.
I'm just saying we're going to find out how many
season
signing.
Yeah, well, that's in an offseason in which they retain Nick Bolton and Trey Smith and George Karlaftis.
2-year, $20 million, 15 guaranteed for Christian Fulton.
He's going to play this year.
I'm not denying that.
But yeah, is he gonna miss the first 6 weeks? Is he gonna miss week 1? Is he gonna miss any time? We just don't know. This is the thing. They don't go into detail on specifically. We don't really actually even know. I don't think the injury for Fulton. Is it a hammy? Is it upper body? I don't think we know.
But the other problem is and this is goes back to it, which is I don't want to missing time at the beginning of the season when they're probably going to be missing Rashee Rice when they're the most difficult part of their schedule. Again, it's adding complications to what I think is already a tough beginning part of the season. Can I, we rely on the listeners here on this show a lot. I'd like to solve one very minor mystery on this show.
Okay.
And we have enough people who listen to this show that I bet somebody knows who this is. I'm driving home on, Friday afternoon. Driving home from the South Kansas City area. And traffic's starting to back up, so I get off and exit. I get off a little bit early from the exit in an attempt to avoid the highway traffic, and I get off on Front Street at 435. And there's a sign written, somebody's tagged it in spray paint, on the concrete barrier on Front Street with one very simple sentence. Becca, I love you. Please come home. Okay. What makes it more intriguing is that on Highway 71, heading northbound on that highway, there's another sign that says, Becca, what happened to you? I miss you. And so what I want to know is who's Becca and who is the person searching for Becca? Because this guy's in knots, man. This guy's torn up about whatever happened to her or where she went or whatever happened in their circumstances. He has tagged, and somebody said that they've seen a third. He has tagged multiple parts of this city in search of Becca. Did they get back together? I just want to know how this story ended. The fact that this man took spray paint throughout the whole city to try to get Becca's attention in areas I believe she thinks she might be. And in an effort to find her or get her back.
Do we know, are we sure Becca is referring to a person?
It's got to be, man. Becca, I miss you. Please come home. It's got to be a person. Was it a dog?
I don't know.
Dogs. Last time I checked.
Are we sure it's not short for something else or stands for something else?
Well, last time I
it's about
checked-
graffiti after all.
Unless,
dude, I mean, they're full
animals can
sentences
read.
begging
I don't
Becca to
know.
come home.
Unless animals can read.
Did it look like it's
which would be a hell of
fresh,
a
or has it been
transformation.
up there for a while?
I'm guessing it's been up there a little while,
Like
but I still
years?
No, it didn't look like years. It didn't look old enough for that. It didn't look faded.
Have you
enough for
driven past this?
that. I've driven
when's
past
the-
multiple of them.
Oh no, I'm saying when's the last time you drove in that like on
It's
that?
been a while since I had been that
area.
side of 435 on the Front Street side, so I can't speak to how old it is. Someone says I've seen 3 or 4 of those around town. I think we should make it in. I would like somebody to find the background information on what happened with this person and Becca. Is Becca okay?
Are you going to drive out there and go door to door and ask?
I was just hoping one of the listeners knew.
Someone
One of the
says
listeners
she's a
knew Becca.
prostitute. She moved to another part of town. Trust me, I know her. That's from
There's
the
just
A16.
no way. Now he said,
Someone
come
says it's been
back
up there
home.
at least a year. At least a year, someone says.
Yeah,
At least a year?
Someone says further west on the Front Street guardrail, it says she lies.
But do we think that might not be about Becca? That could be about any person on that portion
Who
of the
knows?
concrete thing. I just the second I found out that this is written 3-4 places in the city, I'm like, I kind of want to know what happened between these two. And I thought if just one person who listens to the show,
who takes to
knows who it
concrete
is.
like guardrails or whatever or barriers to send love letters and stuff back and forth.
I mean, if
here,
you're
you know?
desperate, maybe she blocked you on the cell phone. Maybe
someone get a can of spray paint and let me just go out there. Did you?
Have you ever gotten a text from someone you dated for a little bit, and be like the really late? Oh, it's been a while. I was thinking about.
Oh yeah, it's happened before. Yeah. For sure.
Have we all gotten?
Oh, I've
one
got
of
someone I
those?
went on a date with him 4 months late. Honestly, the most recent example of that would have been someone that had a couple of nice dates or whatever, nice person, and she 4 months later. I'm not even kidding. I can show you the
4
text.
months.
I can show you. I got a text of a screenshot, and it was a photo of me on TV, and it just said, "Oh hey," and it was one of the days where they came in studio and did something.
Oh, okay.
That was 4
Hit it
months
with
after
the
the fact.
4 months.
And I just sent back the LOL basically.
That's
that
trying to
was about
reignite
it.
the conversation. And
Yeah,
definitely trying to get back in the good
all
graces.
I sent back was just the laughing emoji. But that would be the example what you're talking about. Yeah.
So if anybody knows Becca, I'd like to have her on the show. I'd like to know what happened between her and this mystery person. He didn't put his name on there, so I can't even tell you who the other half of Becca and blank is.
Huh.
Could be anybody.
It says, how many heroes do we need to hire a PI for this?
What kind of PI would you need to based on 3 tags in the entire city to find who this is about? You just going to hang out around and just hope somebody knows who these people are? She could be out of the city. We don't have any idea. I just thought we have a large enough audience. Maybe somebody knew Becca and her mystery person who misses her.
There's a lot of Beccas in this city, I'm sure.
You think so?
If anybody knows a Becca, please have them
She
call
clearly
in.
goes by Becca. I think she goes by
How
Rebecca.
can you say clearly?
Okay, hang
How
on.
can you say
hang on.
clearly?
Clearly goes by Becca. I don't think you put.
That
if
might
you
be
say,
her.
I
That might be
miss
her
you,
real name. That might be her. Her first name might just be Becca.
It might be, but I'm saying she goes by it.
How
she
many
might be.
Oh,
Oh,
you see
Rebecca.
this?
but-
Someone says their wife and them recently had a lady named Becca move in with them. She's a good friend of ours. She did just kind of pick up and leave her last residence.
We might have
Like the
found
84
Becca.
Colts. Okay, hey, look, listen, 816. I'm going to need you to follow up with this person and find out if there's that
Someone
Becca.
said she probably isn't worth serving 30 days in jail for defacing government property.
Well, Becca didn't put the
Someone
sign
said
up.
maybe
It's
they met
whoever's
each
looking
other
for
at
her.
maybe they met each other at a Coldplay concert.
Okay.
Drew, are we okay to talk about it, or is that
Too soon?
Too soon. I'm not sure.
I'm not
Too
going to
late.
chime in any discussion involving Coldplay, even though they're a great band, obviously, anymore.
Text line did not agree with you. How many of us have actually seen Coldplay in concert? That's the real
Oh, in
question.
concert? No, never.
I've never seen him in
I've
concert.
seen him once.
Yeah, I was getting killed on the text line. Goodness.
Yeah, it was tough for you out there. Tough for you. All right, up next, let's talk more about how confident the long-term future is for both the offensive and defensive side of the ball for the Chiefs. That's coming up here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Gold, and Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week, 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread, last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open at the Fountains in Overland Park. Stop in to save 50% off store-wide. Plus, get doorbuster deals. And join us July 26th for prizes, free samples, and the Chiefs cheerleaders with Casey Wolf from 1 till 3 p.m. Ready for game day? Score big with Jersey Mike's. Piled high, sliced fresh. It's a sub above for your football feast. Order yours today at jerseymikes.com or download the app. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
It's not too late to enjoy your summer with a new or improved deck. Go to PowellExteriorsKC.com to schedule a consultation today. Get your free estimate now, and you could be enjoying your new deck or patio in a matter of weeks. You are one click away from your best summer ever.
BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner bets more exciting with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. Log in today and make your picks with confidence with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
It's summertime, and I love being outside, hanging out, doing all of those great outdoor activities. But if you have knee, hip, or shoulder pain and it's not getting any better, and you're stuck in a cycle of steroid shots, and now they're talking about surgery, slow down a minute. I may have the solution for you. Hey, it's Bob Fesco, and my friends at QC Kinetics are the leaders in regenerative medicine, using treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. And the best part about it is there's no meds, there's no surgery. It's advanced cellular therapy. These aren't Band-Aids. We're not masking the pain. It goes right to the root of the problem. And the best part is you can get a free second opinion. A licensed medical provider will go over your x-rays or MRI and see if you're a good fit for these breakthrough treatments. And it doesn't cost anything. So call QC Kinetics today, 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. Saturday appointments available. It's QC Kinetics.
Learn more about becoming a sharper, safer hunter or outdoors person with the Missouri Department of Conservation Lake City Shooting Range and Outdoor Education Center. Regardless of your experience, we can help you master firearms and archery, as well as map and compass, wildlife identification, and many other skills. Open every Wednesday through Sunday in Blue Springs. Learn more at mdc.mo.gov/Lake City. Brought to you by the Missouri Department of Conservation.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the 7th inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate or early signs of prostate cancer could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payout via virtual prepaid card allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Have you watched Die Royal Decree? How about Chiefs Take Tuesday? Or would you rather Wednesday? Follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for exclusive video content, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes action. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Coming up in 20 minutes, we'll get to the trash of the day. We'll have to revisit this Becca graffiti topic. People are out there saying, Cody, you're asking for maybe two homeless people to find out the story.
Just because it's at 435 in Front Street?
Somebody else said perhaps it's somebody that used to be a registered nurse, got hooked on meth, left her 6 kids, and that's her.
One text just says from the 913, I know a Becca. She's a bitch. That's it. That's the whole text, which is just like probably not the Becca I'm looking for, but I am looking for a Becca, to be clear. Just whichever one is.
Shout out to all the Beccas.
Yeah.
Cody saw graffiti with Becca's name on it, and
it just said,
hooked on it forever.
Becca, please come home. I miss you. I just felt like we should figure out how this love story ends.
All right, let's talk a little Chiefs, though, as training camp gets going officially tomorrow. They are up there already for meetings and everything, but practice tomorrow. Today, I believe they do like the conditioning testing and everything like that. And now that George Karlaftis is locked up on a long-term deal and you know who's under contract with the next couple, what are you more confident on the side of the ball long-term in terms of options on offense or defense, knowing who's already under contract for multiple years? I actually personally think this is still a fairly easy answer. And you can say it's a cop-out, but I think it's just the reality of the situation. Of course, I'm still confident in the long-term options on offense more than defense. I have Patrick Mahomes. He fixes most of these concerns, especially if it turns out that they found their long-term left tackle in Josh Simmons, who would be on a rookie deal for another 4, potentially 5 years. So that's what I'm basing on. If they actually found their left tackle, and I still get this guy named Patrick Mahomes, then the other stuff kind of sorts itself out. And I already have my right guard long-term, my center long-term, and I still at least have 2 to 3 more years of Worthy or Rice. So that's still my answer, despite the fact that the current long-term deal that just signed was George Karlaftis. Yeah, it's always going to still be the side that has the quarterback, and he solves a lot of this.
So you get the edge immediately on the Patrick Mahomes camp, and I'm not trying to deny that part of it. Although the last 2 years, the better unit has been the defense. And when you start looking at the defense in the long term, I think the long term, the secondary looks good. Like you've got young safeties, you've got young corners, you've got a star corner. You put your linebackers in play. It feels like that's got, for the next 3 or 4 years, they got enough players on defense that I think it's going to be hard to be bad. Except that pesky little defensive line, in which I do not know how good they'll be 2 years from now, next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. I got no guarantees. Does Chris Jones maintain this level of play? Does Karlaftis maintain this level of play? And do they have anyone else on the defensive line who is any good? who is good enough to make a viable impact? Can a Mini Hughes stay on a football field? That's only a 1-year thing. So we're talking long term. He doesn't even factor into my conversation. The three guys who factor in long term are only Felix Anudike-Uzama, Norman Lott, and Gelati. Other than that, I'm not really kicking a bunch of young names around because I don't think
McDuffie at some point if you think
I
they
just
get a
meant
deal
on the
done.
line.
Yeah,
on the defensive line. And so when you start looking at it, that becomes a challenge. But on offense, the only thing on offense is I feel good about half the offensive line, but I got no long-term answers at running back right now that I know of.
Yeah,
I'm just saying for the long-term future. And I know that that's a small part.
That's an
easier
position to find. You know that.
I feel really good about the wide receivers if it stays feeling pretty good. That mood could change pretty, I think Rice and Worthy are really good. And if they are, then the answer I think is easily offense. I think what this comes down to is your confidence in the young defensive line players versus the young wide receivers and which of those two units you think is better. And the truth is right now, the wide receivers have shown more potential, more optimism, more hope. And I know that none of them have long-term deals yet because they're still young players. But this just comes down to how much do you like Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy? And do you think that at least one of those two is going to be here in the long term? Because other than that, I would actually argue the better long-term players are typically are on defense right now. We're just more unknown on the most important part, the defensive line.
Well, they have more money even after, if you take the quarterback out of it in terms of money invested, between Chris Jones and Karlaftis now, and then potentially McDuffie, they just signed Bolton. Like recent contracts, you could say there's more money invested there. I'd have to look at the exact dollar amount now that Trey Smith's numbers come in and everything like that. But I think where they've devoted resources is kind of interesting. Up until this draft, the prior drafts, you would have said most of the resources were where?
Defense.
Yeah. So
it's kind of a huge chunk of the resources have been going.
And, if Felix would have provided more output already, then this question maybe is answered differently for me. But no, I think it's quite simply offense, and a lot of it, of course, centers around number 15 and the players that I feel like for the next 2 or 3 years that are going to be around him. Like this offensive line, good or bad, this is going to be the O-line. Like what you have here, other than maybe Juwan Taylor not being back, Jalen Moore, Josh Simmons, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Kingsley or Caliendo, like that group, that's the same group next year. That's the same group next year.
That's what always stands out. Like when I just say long term, defense is kind of what the defense is. I understand they'll add more young players. There's no doubt about that. The offense is Rashee Rice going to get an extension? How much time is he going to miss this year? Can Worthy repeat his rookie year? And then the offensive line, where the questions are, is the problem. It's not that I have some spots are locked up. Feel good about center, feel good about right guard now. I'm not as worried about left guard because the other two spots, but I have, for the long term, Gold, I don't know my left or right tackle for sure. I'm not saying that I can't, but for all the Mahomes is the great equalizer, the biggest challenge is he can't, and we've seen this, he can't equalize horrendous offensive line play. Nobody can. Nobody can just completely erase that as if it doesn't exist and go on and win Super Bowls and do all the things we do there. So there's part of me that thinks this goes to if we change this conversation, the floor is much better for the defense over the next 4 years. The floor is better. I feel good about it. I think it's kind of good. The ceiling is much higher on offense. And that's where I'm kind of torn on which one I feel better about long term is if I just put it in a different caveat or in a different category, it would feel different. And in simple as offense is, Rashee Rice comes back and he looks like last year's Rashee Rice for the games he plays. And Simmons is a starting left tackle of at least 10 to 12 best in league quality. Well, then it's the offense running away. Just two questions have to be answered, and then that's it. Stormy days feel weird. Thunder's rattling the studio here, Drew.
We don't get many shows where in the early portion of the show where it's storming like this. It happens a couple times a year during the show. That's it.
I want you to go out there like Lieutenant Dan with the wind blowing, holding up the Witizen flag.
It's not even that windy out there.
Just rain pouring on you. It's not windy.
It's really not that windy, man. We've had way more windy storms, and this is not that windy at all.
It'd make a pretty epic photo, that's all.
Yeah, we need the wind to pick up a little bit.
I would need Kramer to go out there with me or something like that and take a picture while I'm
holding the flag. We've got the Witizen flags from our event. Obviously, we'll plan a new Witizen event.
Hopefully I don't get struck by lightning because I'm guessing it is the
poles are metal.
Okay.
You're not going to be out there that long. Probably fine.
Cody's willing to take that risk for you. No big deal.
They are metal, but we could put some gloves on you or something so you're grounded.
Oh yeah,
that makes him feel way better.
That makes me feel so much.
Would
better.
that help?
No.
No?
It makes me feel so much better.
Are you worried about being struck by lightning? I've never once been
I mean,
genuinely worried about struck by
because
lightning.
now you feel like, no, I'm not.
I'm going to jinx myself into getting struck by lightning?
I'm not that concerned, but you never know, man.
I've never even
There was
considered
a story last week. It's a terrible story.
Wait, what?
You guys golf. Somebody, no, like not to get too dark here, but yeah, somebody got struck by lightning on a golf course and ended up dying. Not locally. Not locally.
That's why I don't play in the rain. Yeah, some New Jersey golfer
Yeah,
says,
see?
man.
This just happened.
28.
You just have to make a judgment call. So
Yeah.
sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's tough though. If you might be stuck out. Like if you're at the furthest point of the golf course from the clubhouse. I've been in that situation before. You're the furthest point out from the clubhouse, and the storm's coming in fast. You don't know if you have enough time to get back. If you don't, you got to find like some sort of forest shrubbery area, if there's any, to at least try to protect yourself a little bit.
Yeah, this is a terrible story. Yeah,
that's awful.
Yeah, it just happened like in the last week.
Oh, I missed that one. Man, yeah, that's truly, truly, truly awful.
We will
No more lightning
we will
jokes.
get to the trash of the day in about 9 minutes or so, but let's talk more about the Royals and one player in particular who has turned it around since June 1st, and it makes a future conversation far more interesting, maybe challenging. I'm talking about Salvador Perez, who has a $13 million club option next year. Since June 1st, he's hitting .294 with 11 homers and 30 RBIs. In the last week and a half, if you even back it up before the All-Star break as well, he's what, six home runs or something like that, I think it is. He's been very, very hot to this point in time. We all know the history with Salvador Perez and this franchise and what he's meant. This guy's going to have a statue one day out at Future Baseball Stadium to be determined.
To be determined.
And he's 35, though. And we know he's the type of player that is going to play truly until the tires fall off. He loves the game way too much. We all know that. It's why he's been so great.
That's why Ernest said on this show before that he feels like he'll end up in a different uniform at some point.
At some point, and I tend to agree. But he's probably also the last chance, given the current nature of baseball and how long guys stay with organizations, for the Royals to have another Hall of Famer. I'm talking Cooperstown. Just because, like, the reality is the chances of somebody even like Bobby Wood Jr. sticking with the organization for 10, 15 years, it's just not usually how the league works now. But anyway, Salvador Perez, club option, if he's hitting like this, is it get trickier or does it actually become easier? Because the age thing, and I know you have Carter Jensen in the system and Blake Mitchell, and we'll see if they're involved in any bit of trades during the deadline or in the offseason. But you say trickier, but if he hits like this the rest of the way, does it actually get easier? It's $13 million in the grand scheme of things is not, considering what they have on the books in 26, is not insane. It's just whether or not you think Carter Jensen is ready to be the starting catcher next year for the big leagues.
The problem is if he hits like this, the reason why I think it becomes more difficult is, you're giving him away for nothing? You're getting nothing out of Salvador Perez when we know teams are desperate for catchers who can hit. And look, Carter Jensen's going to make the decision tough too. He's now been in AAA for 15 games, hitting .288 with a .373 on base percentage, and has already hit, in the 15 games he's been in AAA, 7 homers. Look, AAA's nuts, and everybody's numbers are hyperinflated there for a billion reasons. But now between two leagues, the fact that he has played 83 games, hit .291 with a .363 on base, and has 13 homers. Now, again, 7 of those are in Omaha. We know that, and not all in Omaha, but you get the point. If Salvador Perez is going to hit like this for the rest of the way, I don't want him leaving for nothing, which means I would be, even if I was talking trade, which I think he has a no trade, I'd be wanting to pick him up. I'd be wanting to pay the $13 million and having Carter Jensen be Freddie for me and negotiate it that way, and I'd want both on the team. I think the decision, like you said, maybe gets easier in the sense that you're like, whatever, just pick it up. If he hits like this and Father Time hasn't caught up with him yet, even though he's 35 years old, most teams would just take his numbers right now. 15 homers, 251 average, and a 300 on base. That's most teams' catchers with less homers.
Yeah, I just think $13 million in the grand scheme of things is not really a ton to have allocated on your payroll when you have the youth that the Royals have on the roster.
You thought it was going to be a hard decision, and now it might have gotten easier.
So we'll see. I mean, I want to know how he finishes the season, of course, right? Is he healthy? Is he hitting anywhere remotely near this? But we're not talking about a $22 million option. We're talking about a $13 million option for a guy that obviously has meant so much too. Let's just be like, it can get dangerous operating with the personal side of it and all that. But that for him has to be somewhat part of the equation.
Very serious question, I guess I would have. And someone said, he's coming up on the club record for home runs.
Yes,
George
he
Brett,
is.
And all the stuff that he's chasing as a result of that. He'd need to be here another year in order, I think, to catch all those numbers. But
if you had to make the decision today, I would pick up the club option for next year, or the club option for next year.
But if I'd asked you a month ago, that
correct,
you would have wavered.
I would have
a little bit harder than you are now. It's good to know it is still in there. I just is there? I guess with Salvi, it really boils down to one thing. Is there let's just say next year. Let's say they pick up the option. They're like, yep, we'll pay you the $13 million. You're welcome. We're going to move on from Freddie Fermin in an effort to get Carter Jensen into the big leagues and playing every day. We're going to rotate that DH catcher spot, all that stuff. I still think it is important in an offseason one of these years. Like, Salvi, we love you. We think you're an important player. We'd like you to play 125 games. It's not even like a crazy number. But 140, 150, 160, Salvi, we got to be out of that game. And for your own preservation and everything else in between, we need you to be at 125 games. He played 158 last year. He's on pace to play 155 this year. He played 140 the year before that. He was injured in 2022. But in 2021, he played 161. We want you here. We'll pick up the option. But Carter's got to catch sometimes, and we need you at 125. Is that okay with you? Will you take a reduction in playing time and still be our star? And if we get to the playoffs, your ass will be back there every game. Don't even worry about it. But we got to work out a different system, because I still think that the numbers have always supported it. The more off days Salvador Perez gets, the better player he is.
And he will turn 36 early next season. It'll be an interesting conversation. It will be, and it's one to follow. Obviously, right now, though, he is playing great, and really since June 1st. And he's the reason why the offense, even to a certain extent, maybe has shown some signs of life, but they also, it's tough to even say that when they just had a series against the Marlins that just was not the way anybody wanted it to go. Dropping 2 or 3. They're in Chicago, Wrigley Field. Class, you've been to Wrigley, right? Mm-hmm. I haven't been since they redid the video boards, though. I was there in 2012, or 2011. So I've been to Wrigley, but since then, I believe they've put millions and millions of dollars in renovating a brand new video board. Yeah, so I need to go again. It's time. It's time to go. I was hoping this was a weekend series, not a weekday series.
Because I told you the time I went, we ended up doing the bleachers too, and it was like our Crown Club experience. It was all you can eat, all you can drink. And the game before got suspended in the 7th inning. And so we're like, hey, we're supposed to be able to come in an hour before the game. Like, it's fine. You can come in the 7th inning of this game. That game went 13 innings. Then they waited an hour to start the second game, and then we got to drink to the 7th of the second game. So,
hey, Wrigley,
pretty bad shape.
Iconic.
By the time that game
obviously,
pretty rough
the
shape.
Wrigleyville area is awesome as well. But of course, it's a bucket list stadium if you have not made it out there. That's for sure.
Just real quick, since we were talking catchers before we get to trash, really super fast conversation. Because Carter Jensen is hitting the way there is, and they already called up Jack Hegleon, do you think there's any temptation by them to call up Carter Jensen early and do this again in his search for offense?
It's a great question. Where are you putting them? How you navigating that? While you have Freddie Fermin on, you have Fermin on the right. So no, you can't do that unless you tell me Fermin gets traded.
Fermin would have to go.
Yeah, you get a head start on evaluating Carter Jensen at the big league level. Now, you know my feelings.
I'll just tell you right now, there'd be a team to trade for Freddie. You would get a bunch back, but there'd be plenty of teams who trade for Freddie.
For sure. The only hesitation would be, one, you'd have to have the trade done for Freddie. And then the other part, it's not even rushing. It's just my still feeling from weeks ago, which is still the question about hitting at the big league level.
Starting his clock, and now the team's even further from being in a playoff spot. All the things that I wouldn't worry about with Jack, because at the time the team was definitively not out of it, and I wouldn't have risked those things. But like now, you're unless
you're considering not picking up Salvi's option, and you want to see, all right, let's see what he can do already and get that experience going. But
just asking.
If it's another player they call up and another player that has a slow start to his career, as in 32 games right now we're talking about with Cags. Again, that's what's crazy. It's still 32 games. But that's
so few.
Is that something you want to do? No, these are all. By the way, I'm sure these are all at least some conversations they have been having internally with the Royals as we're 10 days out of the trade deadline.
Trash of the day.
All right, we go to Nantucket.
I'm not going to do the old joke. So.
No, I was waiting. I was giving you a chance.
What's what?
I was waiting. I was going to give you a chance.
It is trash of the day, so immediately. Is that one that just... I'm always impressed by any rumor or joke that existed in every corner of the United States pre-internet. Like we all heard the same Marilyn Manson rumor somehow in the 90s, even though we all had AOL dial-up. There was no social media for us to have shared that rumor. But everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. Anyway, Nantucket, you say?
Yeah, we go to Nantucket for this story. It involves a dispute. So a Nantucket man cut down his neighbor's trees.
Trees, plural?
Yes, he's accused of ordering the removal of 16 trees. So 16 of them, including, I guess, some Leland cypresses, somebody that's, maybe those are fancy trees or nice. I have no idea, right?
The fact that it says it makes it mean
it had resided on the neighbor's property for decades, so very old tree. He got charged on Thursday in Nantucket District Court with felony vandalism, trespassing, and unlawful destruction of trees. He faces up to 3 years in state prison if convicted on the vandalism charge. He cut down this in an attempt to improve his home's ocean view. That's what it was.
Gosh.
He wanted a better view from his patio.
These Leland cypress are like the privacy trees.
Okay. He's also getting sued separately for $1.4 million in damages.
Big tall privacy trees.
Oh, those are okay. They're suing him. The couple no longer resides at the Nantucket property. They live in an assisted living facility in Florida now. In March, a neighbor told the property manager that the trees have been cut down. So the couple that's suing now and all that, they weren't even there. They just had a friend said, "Hey, by the way, somebody just cut down all your trees." That's how they found out. They're down at a facility in Florida.
I guess part of the reason I'd ask is, before you did that, did you offer just compensation to cut the trees down?
The gentleman that's now charged told investigators that he had chopped down the trees a week earlier with permission from these folks. However, the family denies giving that permission. In their suit, they say he chopped the trees to enhance the ocean view from his own residence, with full knowledge that he lacked any legal right to do so. Also, his home is listed for $10 million, but then he withdrew the listing in December.
The guy who cut down the trees?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Paul Bundy.
Obviously just a rich guy who wanted his ocean view and was not going to pay the price to move
the
ocean view closer.
That's a hell of a view.
Look, I bet the fine of $1.4 million is crazy work for some.
I mean, this guy's living in a $10 million house.
I mean, is that what it costs to put the trees back, though? They're suing him for, emotional damage over trees they couldn't look at anymore?
No, but they probably have some property assessor that says the value of their home may be changed, too, because of
the lack of privacy trees?
Maybe.
Dang,
I don't know.
Okay.
16 trees. I mean, that's you know how expensive that was for that guy to cut down the 16 trees? I don't know if you guys, just to get one tree trimmed in your backyard, Cody, is going to cost you $1,000 or $1,500.
It's so expensive.
Imagine cutting down 16 trees. This dude spent $50,000.
He might have, honest to God, I don't think he spent that.
$20,000.
But I'll bet he spent $20,000 to $30,000 getting these trees cut down, hauled away, and then removed. You can't cut down somebody else's trees just so you can see the ocean better. So buy a house close to the ocean. That's how ocean views work.
Or if this person dropped $20,000 to $30,000 to get the trees removed, I'd be interested to see what the property looks like. Is there a way that you could create like a deck that is close to the ocean, some sort of a porch area, some sort of an area that you could build
to get
one
on the top of your
view.
house, Yeah, get higher.
Oh, you're just saying, what could he have done to get a better view without cutting the trees down?
Yeah, spend the $20,000 to $30,000 to do that instead,
Yeah, I don't know,
I'd be curious
if it's a multi-level house or whatever. I have no idea.
This is just, them's the breaks. This is the way life works. The closer to the ocean you get, the better chance you have an ocean view. I don't owe you anything for living closer, wanting to have trees. I'm allowed to have trees. If I live close to the ocean and that tree blocks your view, tough. Either move closer to the ocean or don't. Like, I don't feel like it's my responsibility to chop down my trees just so you can see the water.
Oh, well, no, nobody, I don't think anybody's arguing that.
They had to have been close enough to,
he probably can see the ocean, but he wanted a better view. I'm sure he's in Nantucket. I mean, these people, very wealthy people owning homes in Nantucket.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure everything's beautiful about it. And he's like, I want a little better view. And
see it when I'm sipping my coffee.
Someone said, well, maybe the couple that's in this assisted living facility in Florida, maybe they're not remembering. Who knows, right?
I don't know how to get it in writing,
That would be the worst.
Get it in writing before you spend $30,000 cutting down trees. I would. From the 913, someone in my family did the same thing in Maine, but used poison. Used too much poison.
I've heard that happen too. So there's
trees I won't pay to get all the soil removed and replaced.
I won't say where, but I know somebody that they had a property near a lake, and somebody was complaining that there were trees growing in their view as well. And the property the property owner of a bunch of this huge complex was like, yeah, you can't cut these down. And then magically, like a year later, the trees just started dying. And all of a sudden, Cody, they had a view. They had a view.
Yeah. Do you think if the guy knew it was going to cost $1.4 million in damages, he would have done it anyway just to pay to have the view?
Ooh,
if you're buying a $10 million house, I don't think you just got $1.4 to burn.
I don't know what this guy's background is.
Someone on the text line saying they've thought about this over a lake view.
The poison? Oh, I know it's happened. I know for a fact it's happened plenty of times.
A bunch of times, I'm sure.
Yeah, the tree just mysteriously dies.
Someone said that's where Becca is, Cody.
Living in Florida now.
Jeez.
I don't know where Becca is. I hope one day to find out.
Up next, we'll get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. We'll talk more about George Karlaftis' extension and what do you now expect from him that he's getting this massive extension. That's coming up here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Man was just trying to sit on his dream deck. Look at his trees before they got chopped down. You should do the same thing, not with the tree stuff, but building your dream deck over at All Weather Decks, because they'll build the right deck at the right price. They're a 24-time winner of Angie's List Super Service Award. And if you go to allweatherdecks.net, you can see for yourself the dream projects they have built for other people. They got project pictures, maps of where in the city you can find their work if you want to see it in person, and reviews from the customers who talk about what an excellent job they do. I can speak myself of how easy the process is. Here's the work I want done. Here's the dream work I want done. Explain it for me. They break it down piece by piece so you can see what that project looks like and what it will look like on your home. If you're looking to build that dream deck, wait no longer. 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net.
GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway. I hate games and scams. So when we had the idea to give away $25,000, I was very careful about the way it was orchestrated. Get the top of the market money and enter to be the lucky person to get $25,000. This is no joke. This is no game. This is very real. Just like GimmeTheVin.com.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
It's the summer sales event at Rob Side Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Rob Side joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure, no gimmicks at Rob Side Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Rob Side Ford.
135th and State Line or robsighc.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Rob Side Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
Missouri sports fans, I got great news for you. Underdog is now available to play in your state, and you can go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. As we get ready to roll into the 4th of July holiday, the baseball action is heating up, and Underdog is a leading place to make all of your sports selections. To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like home runs, total bases, and so much more. And once that entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Maybe it's time for Vinny Pasquantino to start heating up, and you love the over on his total bases this weekend. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code BOB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit with promo code BOB. Must be 18 and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See UnderdogFantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Thank you, KC, for voting Century Roofing the best roofing company in the Metro in the Stars 2025 KC Favorites competition. After 35 years, we're giving back to you by extending our free material upgrade sale through the end of the year. Get a free upgrade to impact-resistant shingles with any roof replacement for better protection and possible insurance savings. Trust the best, Century Roofing. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com for your free estimate today.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Century Roofing, we've got you covered, KC.
Ring the bell! We've done it again! Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed.
Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
DQ presents How to Make Your Summer Take Flight. Just head into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat. Treat your inner hero to an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor. Blend it all with legendary DQ soft serve, and it's enough to tempt Superman himself. Fly into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman. Only in theaters July 11th. DQ. Happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
Home title theft. It's on the rise and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert. And that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Brought to you by America's largest pickleball festival, PickleCon. Are you a pickleball newbie, club player, hardcore competitor? PickleCon is for you. 4 days of nonstop play, pro tips, and even a puppy yoga break. Join the fun. PickleCon.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by All Weather Decks. Check them out. One of Kansas City's most respected deck builders online at allweatherdecks.net.
Drew, have you gone to our Twitter account recently?
Oh, boy.
Who's the stations?
Yeah.
I posted the rundown earlier today. Other than
Yeah. No, I saw that. Then I saw somebody put out our training camp schedule. If you guys want to see every day, we're up there. And then have you seen the latest post?
No.
The latest post says, well, this is what happens when Dusty's on vacation. Hashtag Coldplay concert at Bob Fesco at McMorey. And it is Fesco and Mac having some more fun with the Coldplay couple. I'm just curious. I know.
Wow.
This is coming from the station
right
account.
After you said that it's disrespectful.
Literally right after you said you were done with it and it was overplayed. The station just put it out an hour ago.
Yeah, I think it is.
The video is funny.
The video is kind of funny, but it is a lack of respect.
Oh,
I feel like
Drew thinks that society has gone down.
No, I think it should. It's kicking somebody while they're down, or multiple people who are maybe went through a traumatic experience, and it's a reminder of that.
Like if they've been cheated on, you're saying?
Yeah, and it's something that that's making a game of it. And
but that's like saying we
kicking
can't.
somebody. I think it's It shows society's real colors that if it doesn't happen to you, then it's funny and it's okay.
True.
That's the way that society works. And
Yes!
I fall into the trap sometimes as well with this, but I also have to check myself at the door and be like, what are you doing?
So when Daniel Jones Jones week 1 throws 5 picks, or when Nathan Peterman threw 7 of them, you weren't laughing. You were like, man, that really
I felt
is
bad
so
for Nathan Peterman. That was he really performed badly. But I felt very badly for him because it was that embarrassing.
But the way
if somebody stinks,
I get
if
the
somebody
awkwardness,
stinks, then they stink. But I'm not going to make fun of somebody because they stink. Like why?
I feel like we do that though. I feel like we all do that. I mean,
I didn't make fun of the Tennessee Titans or the Cleveland Browns. Like
I think we sat on the show and made fun of Will Levis throwing the ball all kinds of nutso places.
Yeah,
I don't think you're immune to making fun of people. You might do it less than us, but I don't think you definitely don't do it.
Which again, as I said, I have to check myself and I have to back off.
I just think like the way you're saying like it could traumatize them from being cheated on implies that like we can't have a sitcom in which somebody gets cheated on because that could traumatize them too. You got to bring up painful moments sometimes.
I understand.
I want no one to ever bring up a dead mom because my mom's dead. That'd be too dark.
Don't go to a stand-up comedy show.
No. It's tough. Like I get like being played out. I'm with you, Drew.
Yeah, we've said that after today, the Coldplay stuff, you won't see it anymore.
We are done.
But no, this is the thing. A comedy show, you know it's going to be funny and it's supposed to be.
Social media is all about humor.
I just think it's
and
essentially one big stand-up act. People are like getting off jokes, and a lot of them are funny. Not all.
I don't think any of them are funny because you're
SNL?
trying too hard. No, I've never watched a single episode of SNL.
Okay, so
that's not my cup of tea.
If we're coming full circle, and your argument is the ratio of good jokes getting off is not high enough.
That's fine. Yeah,
correct.
I'll hear you out, but you're making it like a
moral,
society.
You're making it like this whole moral thing. Like
That's too far for me.
I would never make fun of anybody.
No, because there's a line of making fun of somebody, and then there's a line of doing too much. And I think we're at the stage of doing too much. Like the whole Coldplay cam thing is doing too much. You don't have to do that. You've already got a thing about it. Like you're
definitely in the minority piece of the text line.
You're trying to be part of a moment.
Sure.
You know, I don't understand the whole being a part of a moment thing. I must have been born after 95. I was born in 95.
So like the Hawk Tua thing. The Hawk Tua thing was a thing for a week or so. And so you were cool, like you didn't make any jokes about that whole thing, or like, man, her parents probably were embarrassed by it, but like you didn't make a single comment. And in fact, I know you did because we did it on the show.
That was not a demeaning thing.
Oh, it could be perceived that way. To women,
the reaction afterwards towards
I'm just
her
saying,
was demeaning, and I didn't participate in that. But the comment itself was the comment itself was not nearly what is happening with the Coldplay stuff in regards to divorce and all the other things.
I just think if something that goes viral, people joke about it. That's just I
think there's levels to it.
Okay,
that was fair. I joke about everything in my life. Nothing's too serious.
Which is probably a good thing. But again, you're the one who's joking about things in your life where it's not anybody else making fun of what's happening to you. Like me, like I've said this on the show before, I stutter. I can make fun of myself stuttering. It's fine. Other people can do it, and it's not great. Like you probably shouldn't, but I can make fun of myself doing it because it's me doing it.
All right, let's get to the Chiefs right half hour. Like I do understand that point. I think normally when it comes to like slower personal stuff, this guy, unfortunately, it was not small anymore. Let's talk about where the Chiefs are with George Karlaftis, who just signed an extension to remain a Chief for the next 6 years under contract. Gold, you and I had both said you're probably even more on board with the deal than I am. I'm fine with the deal. I just think it's coming with greater risk than even they'd like to admit to themselves, which meant, did you have to do it this early? You probably could have waited. I'm not offended that they did it now. You probably could have waited, and this requires, I think, for the Chiefs to get this right, it requires George Karlaftis to be, on average, I think, 8 to 10 sacks each of the year of this contract. Like, he's going to need to get 50 sacks over the next 6 years for this contract and the numbers to make sense in order for that number to, like, make sense based on what they paid him. Maybe 45, but somewhere in that range.
Yeah, and I hear. So, look, I think, first of all, as long as this doesn't prevent them in the future from getting a deal done with McDuffie, then I'm good. Because I would still answer today, who would I rather if I could only sign a long-term deal with, Karlaftis or McDuffie or the Chiefs? I would still personally choose McDuffie. Maybe people disagree, but I would still have that as my answer. So I'm good with this deal as long as they can still get something done long-term with McDuffie, whether it's this year or next season. And I think there is still a chance that they do that. In terms of the actual deal itself, I think there's a ton of upside opportunity here. If you believe Karlaftis will continue to stay healthy, which he has shown no signs of not,
if anything,
not
that's
being
been
healthy.
one of his great strengths.
He's been available. Availability is a big part of me wanting to give an extension to somebody. I got to know you're going to be on the football field, and that's certainly not been a problem the first 3 years of Karlaftis' career. There's also the reality of I think his number was more likely to go up than McDuffie's, who has already seen his peers get paid. Whereas Karlaftis, Hendrickson still has a deal to get done. Micah Parsons still has a deal to get done. We just saw TJ Watt's deal get done. And if Karlaftis goes out there and does have a double-digit sack season, something he did a year ago, not last year, but the year prior, 10.5 sacks, then I think there is a chance one day that the number is 28 to 30 million. So in a year from now, there's a real opportunity for her to be sitting here and say, okay, right now it's the 10th highest paid edge rusher in football. He's not the 10th best edge rusher. I'm not trying to make that point. But a year from now, his number might be the 14th, 13th. 2 years from now, it could be the 15th. And you're saying, oh, wow, yeah, he's definitely a top 15 edge rusher, and you're feeling pretty darn good, whereas McDuffie's number maybe doesn't move as much. So I like the deal. In terms of actual production, look, Greg Rousseau got slightly less than Karlaftis. His deal was done before, but slightly less. And he has the same amount of sacks roughly as Karlaftis in 4 years as Karlaftis has in 3. So, and I don't know, do Bills fans think the Rousseau deal's bad? I don't know if they do or not. I'd have to ask.
They're mixed on it.
I think for the Karlaftis deal to be viewed as a success, it's not suddenly he has to be a 12-sack guy. It's a minimum of that 9 to 11 range, though, on average over the next 4 to 5 years. Yeah. And by the way, I think that's very achievable for him.
When you look at this year, what do you think? Like, he's just paid, and he's still in the 4th year. He's on the final year of his rookie deal, his original rookie deal. The 5th-year option, obviously, they had already picked up. How many sacks do you expect him to get this year? Because I think it's going to be the
9
same
to 10.
number. Yeah, 8.5, 9. Like, does anybody? Because that's maybe the only. And I asked that question because I would say that
there is a potential, right? Like, he's still young enough where you would still say, hey, there's still a chance, right, of potential upside. This goes back to when we were joking about, there's a difference between thinking in baseball prospects that are 22 still haven't shown it and 28. Yeah. There's a difference. Karlaftis is not even 27 years old yet. So, the idea like that we've seen the best football from Karlaftis, no, I think it's a very fair point. If you want to say, no, we haven't seen the best, I think there's a chance. I'm not betting that he's going to be a 13-sack guy anytime soon. But how old is Karlaftis at this point? What is he?
24 probably. I mean, give or take. Let's see. He was pretty young when he came in the league.
24 years old.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
No, when you look, I guess I asked the question because that's the only, I think, hiccup is that I'm not totally sure there's another level there. I've watched George Karlaftis a lot, and I don't watch it and I'd be like, there's something there. Because the argument is obviously, Gold, that in his first 3 years as a starter, he has 24.5 sacks. But this goes back to the different part of the baseball conversation we were having, which is, sure, I can find the one example where it explodes, but that's not common because in the first 3 years of his career, Max Crosby only had 25. So to begin their careers, they are, by all accounts, comparable players. Similar in quarterback hits, not similar in tackles for loss, not similar in pressures. Max Crosby had the edge there and be like, well, but in sacks, Crosby had 25, he had 24. Seems about the same. He's probably about to turn into Max Crosby. And I'm like, I don't see it. Like, the problem is I don't see that. So, in order to be a $20 million player, he doesn't have to be Max Crosby. Max Crosby's going to get $35 million a year. He just needs to be the cheaper version of that. If he's going to make $23 million a year, 8 to 10 sacks each of the next 5 to 6 years, I'm fine. And the deal makes sense, and they're banking on the fact that Mr. Consistency will stay Mr. Consistent.
I think
they'll
if
just
you
keep it that way.
Told just about every single team in football that they could have an edge rusher, and let's say you guaranteed an average of 9 sacks a season, I think every single team would pay.
Carlos Dunlap earns $200 million in his career.
Every single team would pay $23 million a year. If I told you that you're getting 9 sacks every year, now if all of a sudden he had 6.5 last year, if all of a sudden the next 2 years he's a 6 or 7 sack guy, then you say, okay, well, I'm not
getting
really,
money's worth.
But I don't think it's crazy to think that throughout the life of the now 6 years remaining on his contract after the extension, that he averages out 9 sacks. And I think there's a chance it's higher than that. But if the average was 9, I would still be fine with it. I think there is a chance that he has back-to-back double-digit sack seasons at some point, knowing that he's only 24 years old, though.
I don't think it's crazy. And again, like you said, if you're a 9-sack-a-year player, you're a 10-year player in the NFL. And do you know who you are? Tamba Hali. Will we all agree to pay? He finished with 89.5, so exactly that number. We'd all agree, right, that if they sign George Karlaftis, and this is pretty much his career, and they get Tamba Hali, then we're not complaining. Everyone's good with the deal, right? If what they got out of the deal was, these are the guys who have 90 sacks, what you're saying, 9 sacks a season over a 10-year career, and, we got the couple of years before where he's pretty close to that, and then the rest of it after there. Cam Hayward, who's still playing, Tamba Hali,
and Cam Hayward's a D tackle.
True. Yeah, but you're looking at the guys. Jason Pierre-Paul has 94.5. Justin Smith, Willie McGinnis. These are all perfectly fine players to get the kind of money they're paying George Karlaftis out of. The great part about this deal, the best part about the deal is that he doesn't have to way overperform to be worth the money. He just has to keep doing what he's doing. Be an 8 to 9, 10 sack guy, and we're good. The money's the money. I don't regret paying you. It's just like if he starts, like Gold said, falling to 5 or 6 sacks, it's a problem.
Yeah, I went and looked yesterday to finish it technically. Again, if you want to just categorize like what was the top 10 in sacks, he'd have to get to 11, which I think we all know he's fully capable of. The thing that I'm interested about is it's not even necessarily right now. It's when Chris Jones is gone, can you still keep up the output, or does it turn into that 7, or is it 7, or is it 8? Like all of a sudden, because you don't have Chris Jones there, does that impact things where all of a sudden we're in the latter part of the 4-year deal in year 3 and 4, and it's like, hey man, you're not.
Can he be the carry guy?
Yeah, you're not carrying things like you're getting paid as much. Where you didn't have all of a sudden you didn't have Chris Jones anymore, and your numbers started depleting. Or even if it's not even the numbers, it's just the pressures. Like there was no. Whenever you got home, you sacked the quarterback, but you're not getting home as much. Like your pressure rate is not as high as it was when you had Chris. I think that's also something that we'll look back on in 3 or 4 years from now.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Chris Jones has made his life easier. I think Charles Omenihu's the same beneficiary of that, and that's the question of development. Hopefully over the next 2 years, at some point you're saying, all right, Karlaftis is maybe the anchor on that defensive line. I think very clearly he will be, but then who does Norman Lott?
Does he have to become that for the contract to make sense? Does he have to become like the guy on the line?
I think I think it's set up now, unless you tell me that either next year's first-round pick's a defensive lineman that's a stud right away, or that Norman Lott or somebody like that, Gelati, turned out to be a stud. I think it'll just happen within 3 years no matter what, because once Chris Jones is out of the picture in 3 years or so, I think Karlaftis, at that point, he'll be 27 years old. He'll be right in his prime. I think it'll naturally just be him. Unless they nail
to figure out another player to go on the defensive line with.
Unless they nail a pick. And I hope one of these linemen they drafted this year turns out to be a very nice player. We'll find out. But yeah, I would guess that in 3 years we're saying Karlaftis is the anchor of the defensive line. Yeah.
I think especially when you look at just other teams like Myles Garrett, edge rusher, even Cam Hayward being with the Steelers, TJ Watt is the anchor. He's the edge rusher. Like you look to him for Trey Hendrickson or whoever the case is.
Those are like different sack guys than Karlaftis.
I understand, but still, in terms of what they bring to the table, I think that, to what Gold is saying, that the person on the defensive line you think of is the sack getter, the guy that produces the most pressure. So I think, regardless of whether he's in that grouping or not of NFL league leading sack totals, George Karlaftis would still be viewed as that. Or should be, at least I would think, once Chris Jones is gone.
I guess, but also, I think if you're, what you got out of him last year, if he's your, pillar on defense in the defensive line, then you don't have a very good defensive line. Based on what they've had the first 3 years. You could have an average defensive line, but if you got a great defensive line, you got a guy getting more than 8.5. You have a TJ Watt, a Myles Garrett, a Trey, you have a dude. Part of this goes back to what we were talking about, finding one of those guys. You'd mentioned Gelati or Norman Lott, who we hope that they found, hopefully they found their next Chris Jones amongst those players. I was thinking about this year's draft class, and I do think because of the way that they maneuvered themselves, they are going to need this year's rookie class way more than they needed last year's. Now, look, they could have used last year's more if Kingsley was any good. Turns out he wasn't, and they had to go a little bit different. The only guy who got regular playing time was Xavier Worthy. Hicks got more as the season went on, but it was pretty limited. Wiley was hurt. Norzat didn't play. You don't even remember the other two guys' names? I don't either. The guy from an Ivy who was at center. CJ something. They didn't use him, is the point. C.J. Hansen. Do you remember him?
No.
I'm saying that name and you're saying, who?
Yes.
He's a guard or center or something, and they drafted him, I swear.
What's his height and weight, Cody, since you know everything about
I don't
this
know.
guy?
I just thought he played at an Ivy. And that might be wrong. Someone could just prove that very quick.
What'd you say his name was?
C.J. Hansen. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% on that either. The point is that last year's rookie class, they didn't really need because of where they were positionally. They had the entire veteran defensive line. They had Turk. They had the entire veteran safety group and corners. All the offense was there. This year, they're going to need so many of those guys. The defensive line is nowhere near what it is. Omar Norman-Lott and Ashton Gelati, they need someone to there. If Christian Fulton misses any amount of time, Noah Williams becomes an incredibly important player. Maybe Rashee Rice misses time. Now I need Royals more than I thought I needed him going into the season before. And they were already talking about Brashard Smith like he might be a guy who factors in the offense immediately. Not to mention, their starting left tackle might have been their first-round pick. This year's rookie class, I think, is really going to determine the ceiling of this year's team because I think they need these guys way more than they did last year and way more than they did the year before. Going back a little ways with the McDuffie and Karlaftis, that's the last time they needed rookies.
Picks, yeah.
A little bit different, and they were counting on them in a different way. I think it's the first time in a few years that they need the rookies to matter immediately.
By the way, C.J. Hansen went to Holy Cross out of the Patriot League.
That's not
not quite the Ivy League.
Holy
same
Cross
region,
feels Ivy.
same region.
Not quite the Ivy League.
Feels kind of Ivy. You know?
Look,
but his name is C.J. Hansen?
Yes.
Nailed it. Yeah.
I was thinking
he'll be joining us from camp tomorrow. No,
I'll know that he went to Holy Cross.
Talk about
if he did.
his time at Holy Cross. Look, yeah, I mean, when
and
you
ask him if it's an Ivy.
When you spend a first round pick on a left tackle, Josh Simmons, yeah, there's expectations there. I think what's unique about this is when they drafted him, everybody thought, he wasn't going to be available for camp, and we're about to find out tomorrow. And based on yesterday's presser from Andy, he is available for day one of camp, which is a huge upside potential for immediate performance in 2025. But I would say in terms of like what they need in year one, if you said that he wouldn't be available and Jalen Moore was the left tackle and you had Juwan Taylor, I still think the tackles would be better than they were a year ago.
It's kind of hard to be worse,
right.
honestly.
Well,
You're playing a guard at tackle
correct.
for half the year and
so
have
that's
four
where
different tackles start.
So I think long term, they need Josh Simmons, no doubt. They need either Gelati or Norman Lott, one of them to pan out. For this year, you could still come up with a scenario on the offensive line where it was Jalen Moore and Juwan Taylor, not Simmons, and I would say, the ceiling is already higher to a certain extent. I'm with you kind of on the defensive side, though, because Turk Warden is no longer here. He's in Carolina. Yeah, you bring back Pennell and Dana. I think Amenyhu's going to have a big year, but you need somebody
either.
Correct. You need somebody else in the interior to complement Chris Jones.
I think you're going to need another corner.
And who's that going to be in year one? Yeah, I would agree with that. Jalen Royals at the middle round pick. I actually don't think even with Rice suspension, they need a whole lot out of him in year one. It doesn't really, unless Juju goes down. Like if you tell me Rice is suspended for 4 or 5 and then Juju's out, then you are going to have to ask Royals to do more at that point. But I just don't know. I mean, we've gone through the projections.
Over-under, his number should be 200 yards.
275, 300, I would think that's actually a pretty darn good rookie year, depending on how many opportunities and snaps he gets.
I'm just saying there's a bigger opportunity for him. And he's lower on the list, right? He's below Brashard Smith even from the need him category. For defensive line that did not do well last year and needs bodies, those two guys alone make it more important than last year's thing before we start talking about Simmons, before we start talking about the other guys who can contribute kind of right away. And that's a position in which you can have someone contribute right away. And look, it's not equal of that of the Karlaftis McDuffie year in which we knew both those guys were going to be starters day one. And all the secondary guys they used in that draft as well, including a corner who was a starter year one and a running back who was a starter in game one. They use that rookie class more. But I think it's way more than the last couple of years, I guess, is the point. Not all the way there, but I think that 4 of these guys need regular playing time in order for their depth to be where it needs to be, to get right back to the Super Bowl again, win it again, and do all this stuff. Because every few years you need a rookie class like that you rely on kind of immediately.
Tomorrow we are back up in St. Joe, another year of Chiefs training camp. We will be broadcasting live tomorrow, of course, starting at 10 o'clock. So if you're going to be at camp anytime over the next couple weeks, be sure to stop by our tent. We're in the same spot if you've been to camp before, right next to the Hy-Vee concession stand. The nice folks over there. We will be there this week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I think we start next Monday as well.
Monday, Thursday, Friday.
The whole schedule is up on our social media channels. Of course, 96.5 The Fan, at Alex Gold, at Cody B. Tap as well. Up next here on Cody and Gold, we will get to what's trending. We'll talk a bit more about what this Karlaftis deal means for Trent McDuffie. And Joe Burrow had some comments on the quarterback show. Have you guys finished that? We'll get into that next here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Look, this weather, what weather is going to be in St. Joe? The high's like 98 tomorrow. Those are good reminders about how you want to start that career, that dream career, and that career can be in IT thanks to our friends at Centric.
Yeah, take it from Prince, a student that went through the program as well. Talked about how thankful he was for the entire staff over there and how the amazing instructors guided him through every step of the way, each of them playing a unique role in shaping his understanding, his confidence, and passion. More than just teachers, they became mentors and role models as well and helped him throughout the entire program. And as you said, a program that can take just 4 months.
Look, I get it. You've been wondering if there's a better job career out there. You're uncertain about your future, just stuck in a career you don't like. Go to Centric.com and find that dream career today. That's Centric.com, and talk to our guy, Russ Mondry.
It's almost Andy Reid. When I landed in KC, I started doing commercials, the whole playbook. That's how I teamed up with Renner Garage Store. For nearly 70 years, Renner has been serving KC with the latest styles, top brands like Deldon, Amar, and LiftMaster, and the trusted service of a family-owned team. Get your free estimate today, and if you're looking for work, Renner's hiring installers with paid training. RENNER forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
There is only one National Summer Arms Show, and it returns to Kansas City this weekend only. Bigger than ever. Buy, sell, and trade with freedom lovers from coast to coast and border to border. All gathering at the KCI Expo Center for one incredible weekend. Discover vintage rifles and handguns, modern arms, and collectible militaria. From Civil War artifacts to today's tactical gear, there's something for everyone. Stock up on ammo, brass, reloading gear, and military surplus. Explore blades from everyday carry to high-end collectibles. Visit the Colt collectors, the high standard collectors, and the returning Marlin firearms collectors. There's no buyer's premium, just $15 a day or $20 for a weekend pass. Kids 15 and under are free with an adult admission. The 54th Annual National Summer Arms Show, this Saturday, July 26th from 9 to 5 and Sunday 9 to 3. It's the Midwest's highest caliber event and the 5th largest arms show in America. Details online at nationalsummerarmshow.com. That's nationalsummerarmshow.com.
I love Hy-Vee, and I love the fact that they're always finding new ways to save me money, like lower prices in every department. And on top of that, I save so much money at the pump with Hy-Vee's awesome fuel saver deals. Monday, July 21st, earn a 40-cent discount per gallon with every $60 in groceries you purchase. So you can stock up for the summertime fun and stack up all of those fuel savings. Seeing that number roll back at the pump is so much fun, and saving money's even better. And you can do it with gas and groceries only at Hy-Vee.
If you love finding the deal and a bargain brings you bliss, the Hy-Vee 5-day sidewalk sale is cause for celebration. This Wednesday through Sunday, stock up and save big on dozens of pantry staples, like Roma pizzas, 4 for $10, Pepsi 24 packs, $9.99, Frito-Lay's chips, just $1.99, Gatorade 8-pack bottles, just $5.99, and Sunbelt granola bars, 4 for $10. Hurry to the huge 5-day sidewalk sale this week, only at Hy-Vee.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You need parts? O'Reilly has parts. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch every show, plus video clips and shorts, all right from your phone, desktop, or tablet. The Fan's YouTube channel at 965 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
Number one on what's trending, the Chiefs reported to camp last night. First practice is tomorrow. We'll be up there broadcasting live from St. Joe. A couple notes from yesterday. Andy Reid mentioning that Juwan Taylor and Christian Fulton will start training camp on the PUP list. Remember, that does not mean that they are locked in to miss the start of the season. That is something they can be removed from a week into camp, 2 weeks into camp. We just don't know the exact timeline. Andy did say that Juwan Taylor is further along in the process. Now, does that mean 4 days from now or 2 weeks from now? We don't know. But it sounds like they expect Taylor to eventually be practicing at training camp.
Yeah.
Christian Fulton, up in the air.
Not sure about that. Once I started going through his injury history, you find out he's got little injuries every single year. He hasn't played a full season in a while. Got through 15 games last year, but 11 or 12 pretty much the 3 years before that. So we'll see on Christian Fulton. We'll be up at camp tomorrow, as we told you, broadcasting live right next to the practice field. Next up on What's Trending, the Royals started the Chicago series today against the Cubs after dropping 2 of 3 against the Marlins over the weekend. Let one really slip away on Saturday when they got the lead late there thanks to an Adam Frazier double. Came up short, of course, because the eventual blown save from Carlos Estevez. So we'll see what happens there next. And, that's outside of that. Look, I love Wrigley. It's certainly a massive series. To be clear, the Marlins was a massive series. They're all massive series. They're 4 games below 500, and time is running out. It'll be Noah Cameron on the mound tonight.
Elsewhere over the weekend, no Open leaderboard updates today. That's because the Open wrapped up on Sunday across the pond. Scotty Scheffler ends up winning it 17 under. The next closest was your guy, English. 13 under.
English.
Harris English.
English.
Harris.
Jeez.
Couldn't remember his name.
Oh, my goodness.
Scotty Scheffler just continues to just absolutely destroy the competition. He is on a very, very special run. He's also now win at the U.S. Open away from having the career Grand Slam.
Yep.
That's probably happening in the next couple of years at this point.
He's one of only 4 players ever to win 4 majors before he's 30.
That's crazy.
Tiger, Jack, and Gary Player.
Is
Pretty
it
good
even more
company.
painful, you think, for the competition, knowing that just a week ago he said,
I hate this.
I don't really get much joy out of this whole thing. and then he just goes out there and
Terminator
just
the entire
destroys the
Well,
competition.
he had an awesome Saturday, and he was already in the lead. And then you're like, ooh, you know what? Is he going to make it interesting? And on the very first hole of the day for him on Sunday, put it inside of like a foot for birdie on the first
He
hole.
bounced back after a double, too, which got it closer to close the game. He looked like he was more excited after he won. I don't know if you guys saw the celebration.
Yeah.
He looked genuinely more enthusiastic about him winning, which is good.
I kind of took that more as like, and it was a pretty serious thing. You should hear it. Just talking about like, it's not a satisfying life. I think he's just saying, don't make your career your entire personality.
Sure.
Next up on what trending, J.C. Treader joins the most recent resignees over at the NFL's Players Association, announcing that yesterday they have a mess over on their hands. They're currently actively looking for an interim, but the top 2 guys in the NFL Players Association have both resigned. We expect more stuff to come out about J.C. Treader as the strip club stuff started coming out on the other side on Friday for his cohort, at least on that end. It's starting, honestly, to look like they weren't doing anything for the players.
No.
And were just enriching themselves and maybe actively helping the league work against the players. They got to tear down the whole PA system. And then worse, I assume you saw the same thing. On Saturday, they were having like an emergency call over this. And all the reporting from the national guys were a lot of the players were just learning about this. And like the player representatives were like, you ought to be tuning into the news. Because originally the initial report was they were considering Treader to be the interim guy, only to find out, maybe not
He's
such a good
also
idea, and now resigning.
Yeah, it was stunning. But J.C. Treader, obviously, is a former player himself.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he played center in this league, and for him to not be actually doing his job in the best interest of the players he represents is an absolute mess for the NFLPA. Lastly, on what's trending, Titans quarterback Will Levis will undergo season-ending surgery on his right shoulder, according to Adam Schefter. It's an injury he sustained early last year, but then he kept playing, aggravated it further. Yeah. So now having a late surgery, he's done for the year. Now, Cam Ward was going to win this job. They just didn't want to give it to him, but he's going to win the job. And now it's pretty obvious Cam Ward's the future anyway. But Will Levis, like, his career's done in Tennessee. The question is, can he be a backup throughout the rest of his career?
Yeah. Can he find a way onto a bench for the rest of the time? Lastly, on what's trending, ex-BYU quarterback Jake Retzlaff is transferring to Tulane.
Who desperately needed a quarterback, by the way, because
their guy had left to Duke, right?
Well, yes.
And Jake Retzlaff had the sexual assault claims that were dropped?
Yes.
Correct. But in between there, Tulane brought in a quarterback. They brought in TJ Finley, who then got kicked off the program because of, I think he was arrested for something. He got kicked off the program. So they had basically a quarterback 2 situation who would be the one. So it works out, I guess, for both of them. And I believe he's immediately eligible as well. He doesn't miss out on any eligibility, Retzlaff, other than the suspension that he's going to get.
Okay. He had a good year at BYU, right?
He was, yes. He was a big part of the reason why they were so good. Also, BYU won a ton of close games, though. They were flirting with danger. They ended up winning, so it was good.
That's what's trending. Completely random, but you brought up Tulane, which is based in New Orleans.
The Green Wave.
And so it just it honestly just hit me all of a sudden. I'm like, did we ever find out? Did all the prison escapees from New Orleans get caught?
I think there's still one that's out there.
There's still the one. There's the one guy, the same one. Like, because I was like, wait a second. When you brought up Tulane, I'm like, wait a second. And you said arrest, and so then it got me thinking.
You're like, wait.
That was like a month and a half ago, wasn't it?
Let's see.
Is there still one prison escapee out there from New Orleans?
Derek Groves.
Yeah. Oh, sure, yeah.
As of 24 hours a day at NOLA.com, jail escapee Derek Groves eludes capture after 2 months. Here's what officials are saying.
I would have lost the bet. I took the under. I thought he'd be caught by now. I thought all
2 months.
He's the last one.
He's the last one holding out. They said a variety of state and federal agents are still after Groves, who turned 28 while in hiding. Oh, I had a birthday. He got a birthday out of jail.
Birthday party.
Could you imagine if he just turned himself in after, like, I had the birthday party. Good enough. Ready to be out. But tips have slowed down, officials say, and his whereabouts remain a mystery. We continue to get tips on him from Crime Stoppers, but none of them are good leads at the
Several
moment,
several attorneys that were involved in his criminal prosecution have fled the state with their families, fearing their safety. Oh, what a mess! What a mess.
So Derek Groves.
Okay, well that answers our question.
One guy still out and about.
All right, coming up in 20 minutes, we will we'll talk more about the Royals and the really, really disappointing weekend series in Miami. Don't forget, though, on a Monday, you want to visit our friends over at 30 Hop. $5.99 classic burgers all day long. 30 Hop's your new go-to. It's an American bar and kitchen with bold flavors, local taps, great expansive patios. They're awesome at both locations. An unbeatable happy hour. Go to the location in Lee Summit if that's closer to you, or right down the street from us in our studios in Merriam at Grand Station. They're a proud lunch partner on the show. $5.99 classic burgers. You can go to 30hop.com. That's 30hop.com. Local beer, American Eats, big patio.
All right, let's talk Trent McDuffie now. We mentioned it with the Karlaftis deal. Over in the text line, someone says, you can't pay everybody. You can't pay Trent McDuffie $100 million. He'll just have to go. Okay. Now that this is the case. I think the biggest thing, it means he's up. He should want to get paid. But the problem is that I think what you had pointed out, at least for one calendar year, his number is not changing. Yes. His number does not change until the new salary cap number comes out in the year 2026. It is not a cent different, in my opinion, until then. There's no other corners left to be paid. There's nobody else in the market who deserves a deal. We know it's $30.2 million per year, and I don't know, $1 million more in guaranteed money than Sauce Gardner got. The only question I have is, they got Karlaftis done so soon. Is there any part of them that doesn't want to give McDuffie that money? That doesn't make any sense. You draft an all-pro corner, and then you're just not going to sign him? How often does that happen?
No, I mean, I think they want to get a deal done with him. It's just, one, clearly they were further along in the negotiations with Karlaftis, and I still think it goes back to what we said, that they believe that the number maybe on Karlaftis was going to go up and keep going up, and there are direct peers of Trent McDuffie that have already gotten paid, and so you kind of know what the number is. Also, there were rumblings, we've talked about on the show, mainly last offseason, but the Chiefs were interested then, and McDuffie didn't want to get a deal done that early.
Yeah,
and so
maybe don't want to get, he's still got 2 years under control this year and next year's fifth-year option.
Even if you want to take the route of, hey, they can't pay him, like the texter, they can't pay him. Okay, let's play that game for a little bit. You're not in jeopardy of losing him anytime soon or having to make a decision on a trade. He has another year left after this on his rookie contract, right? And then you always have the tag in your back pocket the year after that. You're in no danger of losing Trent McDuffie or losing control to where you, if you thought they had to trade him, that's a 2-year conversation. I'm not worried about him not being on the team in 2026 or the necessity to move him next offseason. You know, I understand at some point you're right. You cannot pay every single player, but also think about what's coming off the books as well. So Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey obviously got mega deals in the last off seasons or two. You have a deal
come off.
Kelsey's number is going to be gone probably next offseason. Yeah. Juwan Taylor, you're going to be done with the long-term deal. You're going to have a little bit of dead cap if you move on from after this year. Your left tackle hopefully is a rookie, so you're not paying him anytime soon. Josh Simmons, not a deal coming down the pipeline for him. Chris Jones, we've discussed his number is going to be massive next season. We've asked Nate Taylor about that too. That's something that maybe they have to rework, or they can just do the conversion, right? They convert, I think there's a big roster bonus in there or something like that. They can convert $16 million or something of that to ease it up. Acting like they can't possibly pay Trent McDuffie still, I think, is false. Do they have to get more creative with how they negotiate and structure? Yeah, but the idea that in February they have to make a decision to trade him or else is just not true. I mean, they have too many years of control plus a tag in the future.
If they wait let's say he waits an extra year, cap number goes up, no other corners really to be paid. All the big name corners all got deals this offseason, but he waits another year and the cap's going to go up. What's a market setting reset for him mean in a year? A couple million a year? Like, he might get an extra 10 mil. I mean, it's not nothing gold. I understood why he didn't want to negotiate early last year. That'd be giving him the Karlaftis deal. He had no incentive to give them a fair deal or like the better deal on their end when he had 3 years left of control, because the 5th-year option was always floating around in there and the pay was always going to be the same. I just don't think the number's going to change. But if he doesn't get a deal done in the next, in a lot of ways,
let's call it 12 months.
It's like if he doesn't get one done before the start of the season, I'm like, is there a problem here down the road on this deal? because the numbers don't seem to feel like they're changing much unless he just wants to separate himself from the rest of the financials of the rest of this cornerback group.
Yeah.
But that happened. They took a jump from $25 million to $30 with 3 players already. It already took a massive market correction. I don't think there's another market correction.
Are there any other corners who are set to be paid other than Trent McDuffie?
They all got paid.
The last one. Yeah, and by the way, I think maybe I just to clarify, so next year's the 5th-year option.
Yeah.
Then they could tag them. So maybe this will make sure I have that right.
But they would have this year, next year, and the year after that in control if they wanted to. And by the way, all of that will come in under $30 million. That's the only thing I pointed out in Karlaftis. It still holds true here. The tag number for corners this year is like $23 million. It'll be pretty close to that, $24 million 2 years from now. The 5th-year option, because he's not a Pro Bowler, is less than it would have been. It's like $12 million instead of $20. It's crazy, but it is what it is. And so, they don't have to pay him yet if they don't want to.
I don't know if they're just being sarcastic. Is Mahomes off the books in 27? Yep, they're just going to cut him. Yep, he will be off the books.
He'll retire.
He's going to retire. I don't know if that was a sarcastic text or whatever, but if you're asking, are they going to need a new deal with Mahomes next offseason, I would say yes. I also think that'll happen, but off the books, I mean, his deal technically still right now.
Not off the books until he's retired, as far as I'm concerned.
Even if they didn't even touch his current deal, which they're going to have to, he's on the books until 2031. So, that contract's going to be the contract. And
What's
it's
the
only
dead cap? Have we looked at the dead cap for Mahomes?
If they just had enough. If they just had enough and want to move on, yes, there is a 2027, 28 dead cap. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. No, he's going to get a new deal next year.
They could save $11 million by cutting him next year. Have you considered it? He's only $67 million on the dead cap, $78 to keep. So,
poll question: if it meant cutting Patrick Mahomes, would you keep Trent McDuffie? 913-586.
In fairness to what Barber,
a lot of ways you just paid him.
To what Barber keeps on saying, my favorite team should do. They keep on paying everybody else. Why not invest the money and just make the entire team good around whoever?
Wow.
Come on, Barber.
He's obviously toying with you because he knows you get upset.
I know.
The legit answer, the difference is one of these guys has won a couple rings, the other one hasn't. And the other one has not made the playoffs recently, and one of them has an injury problem.
Even more so to just keep the train going, you know?
I guess one of my favorite question, though, is will the league ever make the adjustment to the quarterbacks don't count against the cap? Because somebody's like, is Mahomes going to be worth $80 million? He's worth $80 million in a cap league. He's $78 million against the cap next year.
He's never going to get paid his value.
Happily. Yeah. If they made quarterback an uncapped position, it was the only position you could pay him.
$100 million a year easily.
You'd be surprised at how much money he
at least $100 million.
Bare minimum, $100 million.
You'd be stunned at how much money he actually
For sure. Absolutely.
It would
Same with Josh Allen's number. Josh Allen's number would be higher as well, even though he hadn't been to a Super Bowl.
Everybody's would be.
All these quarterbacks.
One other thing that was interesting this weekend, just coming from the Karlaftis deal, and I was going back and forth with somebody as well on this, is Trent McDuffie's different than the previous corners, and we've been through this a little bit last week as well, where he's just a guy that you pay. The fact that he's all-pro, he's just different than anybody else, where you just pay him the money because he's worth the money. It's not that the Chiefs don't develop well or anything like that. That was L'Jarius Sneed. That's why they drafted Noel Williams and brought in Christian Fulton. But Trent McDuffie's a guy that you don't let walk. He's that caliber of a player. And somebody mentioned Marcus Peters to me over the weekend. Trent McDuffie is a better corner than Marcus Peters ever was.
He's better than every single one they have moved on from. Yeah, they've done a good job drafting and
he's a guy that you pay.
He's different than Sneed and Peters and
Peters those. Yep. Peters was an all-pro caliber player. He's here just a different style.
Correct.
He was the I dare you to throw it. I'll be a turnover guy.
Trent McDuffie won't even let you throw the ball his way.
Trent McDuffie might be the best tackling corner in the NFL.
Agreed.
So they're just different players, different skilled players, and so it's tough. I understand the idea that
from everything we can tell, so McDuffie looks like a model citizen as well. And no issues in the locker room or with coaches or anything like that.
You don't think I'm at risk of Trent McDuffie ever telling me, you know what happened? I'm finna go get loaded, which is what he told me. Marcus Peters told me in a locker room one time when I asked him, "Hey man, what happened when you were clearly arguing with that fan in the stands and flipping him off? What happened there?" And he said, "Oh, you know what happened? I'm finna go get loaded." Then he left.
Yeah,
he just took off. And that was in the same season that he came back to the field with no socks on after he clearly left the field and taken his shoes off at some point. And came back on that. Yeah, dude. He had a whole season full of shenanigans. And then that was around the time that they're like, you know what, we're probably good on Marcus Peters.
That's stuff you don't have to worry about with Trent McDuffie. He's actually one of our favorite interviews we do at camp. Hopefully we get him again this year. I don't know if they'll give him us Trent McDuffie during camp because
I hope so.
Because of the contract stuff. But even though he's not under contract dispute, I mean he's under contract. But he's one of the best interviews on the team. So hopefully we have a chance starting tomorrow when we're up there in St. Joe.
Yeah, really, really very much. Love talking to Trent McDuffie. Hope we get a chance to catch him. I did over the weekend, Drew. You know, you always got to have a show where I like putting headphones on. Sometimes I listen to music. Sometimes I like to just like have something on I'm watching or whatever while I clean or do dishes or the normal stuff.
Yeah,
right?
we've talked about this. Maybe this is a kid's thing. I don't wear headphones around the house. I think that's I can't. Why do I need headphones around the house?
I think because it's just you, Gold, in the house.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference.
Are you just trying to block out the noise from the kids?
Do you know how loud it is? Thanks to you, my kids now have a Nintendo Switch too.
Yeah, there you go.
And so they're having a grand old time. We have relocated them fully to the basement, which we had not done. We're like, all right, it's going down there. That's where it's plugged in. Please go enjoy Donkey Kong Bonanza. But they're loud. So like sometimes I wear headphones. I've been watching Quarterback over on Netflix. I didn't watch the wide receiver one at all. Okay. I obviously watched the one with Mahomes, and I thought, you know what? Interesting trio of guys. At the very least, Jared Goff, the Kirk Cousins part of this thing's not really doing anything for me because I feel like we already learned about Kirk Cousins. Okay. So until he gets benched in this thing, I don't feel like it's moving the needle. Joe Burrow. We've had a couple of conversations of the show, and I want to point out that Drew is not in no way asking me to bring up this conversation. I just wanted to tell you what my thoughts are on Joe Burrow now, having watched the majority of the quarterback series over on Netflix. One, he is arrogant. There's just no putting up.
Well, we already knew that.
He is one of the most arrogant people on the planet. He was talking about how he tried to buy fossils at a museum and they wouldn't sell them to him. That's an arrogant thing to do. But beyond even just that part, he oozes arrogance. So your original take of, I don't think other people think he's arrogant, insane after watching this, and it's fine.
Yeah, he's a very arrogant person.
He can be an arrogant person. I'm not arguing any part of that. But I gotta say, man, he is. He
seems like an interesting individual.
I think he's an.
Yes, he is.
I think he's an excuse maker more now than when I watched this. He is an interesting person. He likes history. That's why I got him the samurai swords, all the normal stuff. But the truth is that I think he gets a little too frustrated for this game. He's cool and calm in the moment, but you can see like as he starts, like as the series goes on, and the more I watch him, the more I realize the reason why they brought back Higgins and Chase and all this stuff is he wants it to be Joe Burrow's world and nobody else is going to execute inside of it. So if you don't give him what he wants, he seems frustrated by the idea that you're not giving him what he wants. That's the sense I really get from him in watching this. I feel like in the long term, that's going to be bad. I think he wants to be the GM. I think Zach Taylor's still the coach because that's who he wants to be the coach. And there's something to keep in a quarterback happy to a point. But you also can't, like, it's not spoiler toddler stuff. Like, at some point, you got to tell a person no. You don't get every part of every little thing you want. That's not how the rest of this goes. That's my genuine takeaway from this show. Not even just to pick on him. It's just like, it feels like the way he operates. Is anybody else watching this show?
So I haven't been able to get into it. I've watched one episode, in fairness, and I need to watch more. And I loved quarterback a couple years ago. I did watch wide receiver last year as well. And I do think Joe Burrow's interesting, and I'll end up watching it at some point.
The style of stuff is hilarious.
That's what, everybody's been tweeting about that.
That was cracking me up.
But yeah, I mean, like I don't need to watch the show to know that he's arrogant. That's fine. That's just we've said that for years on this show.
No, but they confirmed it.
But yeah, I need to watch a little bit, and I think the Kirk Cousins angle will be interesting once he gets benched, because a beginning portion of it, yeah, we've already seen Kirk Cousins and everything on this show before. But Drew, have you finished it yet?
No, I've watched only one episode.
Oh, okay. Same thing.
I think that
You're your guy. Yeah.
But I don't think I get anything more out of this. Like after watching one episode, like the piano thing was interesting, but I don't.
He was learning piano because he felt like he needed a thing to do in the offseason to keep himself busy, but he also did it to like work on his dexterity because of the injury.
Yeah, the wrist, which I didn't know that.
He wasn't very good playing piano. It was fine.
But I think that one of the interesting things is I've mentioned that I think Mahomes should get more fired up and, not necessarily yell at in a demeaning way, but
Burrow doesn't do that.
Well, hang on a second. I want Mahomes, I think, sometimes to do that. Like, I'd like him to do that. I'd want him to be a little bit more animated. Joe saying that.
He got criticized when he was animated on the sideline a year ago.
I think that. Yeah, okay, because, again,
there's a limit. Yeah.
There's a level to all of this. But I think that, Joe saying it made me think of the same thing where I would like him to get a little bit more fired up, not in a demeaning way. Again, I like the fact that he's just like Patrick Mahomes and every quarterback. I think every good quarterback is like, look, all of it's going to fall on me. All of the praise, great. All the bad things, that's my fault as well. Like I take everything on. I need to be better and all of that stuff. But I thought it was interesting that he does hold his emotion in a lot, I think. It seems like, where seemingly he'll get mad at Zach Taylor during an instance because, look, I know he won 37-27, but this ain't good enough. I think it's because he knew the defense wasn't, they weren't in the position where they needed to be.
There's a later episode. He definitely throws the defense under the bus because he's like, we're offsides like 10 times. This is a joke.
Yeah, like as fun as it is for social media, we were just having that conversation earlier. I don't want my quarterback being a hothead and like I don't want my quarterback throwing tablets all over the sideline on a consistent basis.
I don't want Mahomes to throw. I wouldn't want Mahomes to throw a tablet either. I'd want him to tell every now and then, like Kingsley. I'd want him to pull him to the side and be like, "Look, man."
You don't think he does that?
I
guarantee you he does.
I
guarantee you.
Well, and if I'd like to be shown it because again,
I would like it behind the scenes every week too.
No, it's not even behind the scenes because on the NBC broadcast, week 1 last year, they had a whole minute spiel on Lamar Jackson and his leadership, and they showed him on the sideline like 3 straight possessions, talking to the offensive linemen, rallying the troop. I'd love to see that. We don't see it from Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure he does it, but I would love to be able to. I
feel like we saw it in all the mic'd up stuff just in the biggest game of the season in the Super Bowl. Every playoff run that they've gone on, I feel like we see Mike. I think that's just extremely misleading to suggest that Patrick Mahomes has never gone over to his offensive line during a game and tried to motivate them. I think that's just completely inaccurate.
We don't see it. Like we aren't showing it though. We didn't see it in the quarterback.
We
series
did in the mic'd up
ago.
stuff during the. I can go pull up the Super Bowl.
I want to be able to see
Miami
after
Super Bowl
for
a fact.
I want to see after he gets planted, after Kingsley completely blows a assignment. Hey man, look, we need you. It's going to be fine. Like I want to be able to see like that side of this. It would give me. I think it would give people a better appreciation, even more so for Patrick Mahomes. And just like his leadership. Like we know he has leadership, but I'm saying I think
I'm starting to wonder if any quarterbacks like that.
It would be enjoyable to see.
Because Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff are on this series too, and they might be even bigger sweethearts than the other
Kirk
two
Cousins
guys.
is one of, I think Kirk Cousins is like one of the
he's a nice guy.
Nicest people in the world. I mean, this guy's unbelievable.
He's like, excuse me, Mr. Mooney, could you just maybe just go a little
Kirk Cousins is great. I know people hate on it. I think we said it the last time he was in quarterback. I don't know how you can hate the guy.
No,
I mean, he's an unbelievable person. It really seems like it. I'm a big fan of Kirk Cousins for a while anyway, but he now looks like, I mean, is he ever going to start in this league again? I'm not so sure. He's going to be a backup heading into week 1 of the season for the Falcons.
It's still weird that another team didn't give him a shot. I understand that he was not a good quarterback, but you could have just made in my opinion, you could have just made the argument of he'll be fine a year after the injury. Let's just give it another shot. And
unless there's a camp injury at quarterback somewhere, I don't think he's playing this year.
I don't think so either.
All right, up next, guys, we will get to the random question of the day and talk about the very disappointing weekend post-All-Star break for the Royals.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
Go Yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. Join Underdog in the leading place to make all your sports selections that you can play in your state. On the Missouri side, you can be up in St. Joe for camp making those selections on the Missouri side. So join the millions of fans who have already won billions making plays at Underdogs and be next. Look, football's around the corner, but all you have to do to download the app and use it today is choose your favorite players will go higher or lower than their stats. So tonight, for baseball, runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. You can just say, all right, CAG's going to go higher than 0.5 home runs and make those selections just like that. Play with as little as $1 and you can get everything right. You can win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right. If your entry is correct, you could turn $1 into $1,000 over at Underdog in your state, just with your baseball knowledge. So download that Underdog app, sign up with that promo code TAPP, TAPP, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP, TAPP. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down. 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
You gotta dip your chicken strips. Hey, this is Kiani.
And this is Tabitha.
And a little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips
is all the different sauces we can dip them in. I like to line up all my favorite sauces so that in every bite, I have a different flavor. Then with the tenderness of the chicken, the juiciness of it, it's all there.
And for me, I like to mix my sauces so I get a little tang and I get a little sweetness all in one bite.
That's what makes it for me. Like, that's what does it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When it comes to back-to-school shopping at Target, you can choose not to choose. From getting what you need to expressing who you are. With prices that make every choice feel right, why not choose all of the above? From backpacks, bedazzled kicks, and Picture Day Perfect styles as bold as they are. For bring your own lunch days to science project partner days, snack stash days, decorate your locker days, and paint outside the line days. All at prices that will definitely make your day. For all of the above, it's back to school at Target.
Back to school is on the brain. That means new notebooks, pencils, new everything. And while the kids are getting ready to get book smart, it's time for you to save smart with Straight Talk Wireless. Switch now and get a free Moto G 2025 with 5G when you activate select plans. Now that's a smart call. Get Straight Talk covered by Verizon's 5G network. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Offer valid through 10/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Purchase of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required for offer. Must activate the plan in-store at Walmart. Cannot be combined with other offers.
Brought to you by America's largest pickleball festival, PickleCon. PickleCon will feature 100 courts, 3,000 players, 80-plus vendors, with something for everyone. Youth tournaments, charity games, and parties that glow. PickleCon, August 7th to 10th. Register at picklecon.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Be sure to head over to 30 Hop today, $5.99 classic burgers. 30 Hop, our Monday lunch partner here on Cody and Gold. Location out in Lee Summit, brand new one in Merriam, the Grand Station area. Stop in for lunch, stay for happy hour. Look, you got to take advantage of the burgers at $5.99, but even if you're not in the mood for a classic burger, their menu is amazing. We've tried multiple items on their menu over the last couple of months as well. I told you I think the yakisoba noodles are very, very good. The chicken tenders are like some of the biggest chicken tenders you're going to ever see. I'm serious. Like they look like giant hunks of fried chicken. Like they're massive. You could almost split an order of the chicken fingers at 30 Hop. So be sure to head over there no matter where you're at in town, either out in Lee Summit or Merriam Grand Station, or just go to 30hop.com. That's 30hop.com. So the Royals are in Chicago today, taking on the Cubs, Wrigley Field, iconic venue. Some of you have texted in and said, hey, yeah, I'm heading out to Chicago today to go to Wrigley. And I'm very jealous of you if that is you. That is, I don't care how well your team's performing or whatever. And especially on a Wednesday, when it's an afternoon game. An afternoon game at Wrigley is classic.
Feels
absolutely classic. So that's coming up. But you thought they would hopefully have some momentum going into that series. Instead, they come out of the All-Star break and they drop 2 of 3 to the freaking Marlins.
They're fundamentally not any further back than they really were. I know it's a game, but it's just like a lot of it is just we go back to the schedule and like the teams that are playing well and not playing well. And the Marlins were, admittedly, playing better baseball going into that, but I'm not going to excuse make for this. You had the game on Saturday. Adam Frazier came through for you. Caglione came through for you. You got the runs you needed. You had it. Your all-star closer was on the mound and just needed not to give up 2 runs, not even 1.
Yeah.
And he got hammered.
Stowers, right?
Yeah, Stowers hit that. And Stowers is one of the hottest hitters in baseball, admittedly, but still, again, that's excuse making, and that's not what I'm here for. The Cubs are one of the best teams in baseball. Then you face the Guardians, a team who knows you well in the division, who are playing poorly, the Braves, who are playing poorly, and you get this homestand of teams that aren't playing particularly well, but then the schedule gets difficult again. It's just, and a lot of this is, Gold, every game, like, I think that game on Friday actually kind of encompasses what I think the Royals are, which is a team that obviously struggles on offense, and they scored that game. But the Royals are not, and I don't think they're a bad team. I think they have enough talent to be a playoff team. But in the biggest moments for them this season, in the moments in which, Gold, they have needed a win the most, you got them on the ropes. Out of the All-Star break, you got a team on their heels. Just get the win. We know you got the one on Sunday. Just get the win. That's when they've been their worst. And the couple of times when they've just let games or series get away from them, Gold, when it felt like they needed it, that's when they've been at their worst. At their best is probably when I'm like, okay, and they try to crawl back in. Somehow they win 2 or 3 against the Cubs, and I'm like, you want to hem and haw. But I feel like that kind of encompasses where they are. They've come up short in the worst times this year. That Marlins one on Friday, that felt like a gut punch. I think Rob and a bunch of other people are just like, well, okay, I think I've seen enough here. If you were still on the fringe about not selling, I think that pushed people away. And again, they're not even way different than they were. Number of games remaining, games back from a wild card spot. None of that really changed.
But the thought is
it's just
that
like the mentality hurt.
You got to play 10 games above 500 here down in the final 60-plus games, and you would like to think that if there's any chance that was going to happen, that you're going to have to win series against teams that are worse than you. And the Marlins are definitely that. They're only 2 games worse, actually, but in terms of overall roster, it's not even close.
Yeah.
But results are results.
And they're playing better against Stowers with a hot hitter,
you didn't capitalize.
I think the Marlins have won 16 of the last 22
Yeah, they've been playing a
they're
lot
hot
better.
fire.
They've been playing a lot
playing
better
good
baseball. And Stowers has been a huge
But it's still excuse making for the Royals. You got the better roster. You were the playoff team last year. Take them down.
So now
and you had them on Friday.
So how do you make up for it? Well, you got to find a way to win against one of the best teams in baseball. Can you win a series at Wrigley Field before you come back home this weekend? Look, the trade deadline is 10 days away, and it's kind of the same conversation. They should be willing to trade Lugo. They should be willing to trade Lorenzen if he gets back healthy. They should now be willing to potentially trade Carlos Estevez if you believe that Ursack can be your closer next year. Because that's the tricky part. You want to trade pieces, but also you still think you're going to contend in 26. So that's where it doesn't make sense to trade some of the guys with multiple years of control that are actually hitting already for you, Michael, etc. But Carlos, when you have Ursack, maybe I'd be interested in that. Michael Lorenzen, you're not getting much back for. The only guys you're really getting much back for that I'd be willing to trade is Lugo and Carlos. So like whenever we get the text that say, sell everybody, like who are you actually talking about? If you're saying sell everybody, but you actually mean Lugo or Carlos, then we're all on the same page. If you're saying sell everybody and you want them to trade Lugo, Bubic, Carlos, Lorenzen, Ursack, Michael, well then you don't think the team is competing in 26.
Yes.
And you're willing to punt.
2 weeks?
Like 10 days away. Something like that. 31st, right?
31st, yeah. So like mid next week, we'll be talking about if the Royals did or didn't make a move and where we are, and obviously we'll be up at training camp as well. But yes, it just felt like that game felt like the biggest letdown. Not just because you and I were talking about the Frazier-Devaney deal and it looked like Adam Frazier got the game-winning hit to secure the win for the Royals. And I was so ready to come here on Monday and be like, all right, look at the vet. Getting the job done.
People didn't like some people liked it. Some people didn't like my sarcastic.
I guarantee you they'd have liked it more if Stevens didn't blow that save.
Some people were not happy.
Is this a situation where would you say the Royals should be calling other teams or
yes.
Because I wonder if not that they're hesitant to do that now. And again, I know it's only 10 days, but just letting this thing go the next series against the Cubs and just waiting on somebody else to call them.
They're going to wait till the last minute, man. At this point,
that's what I was.
The Royals
wondering.
are trading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in my opinion.
They're going to wait till the last minute to call other teams to be like, "Hey, do you want this person? This is what we're going to do."
Yeah,
or we're interested in selling.
Or
at
we've
this
got
point
this.
To you.
We're already getting offered this. The problem is that I know that teams are calling about some of the other bigger name players. Teams have called asking if Michael's available. Teams have called finding out if Chris Bubic is for sale. And as at the moment, it's like, I mean, if you want to give us the world, if you want to give us your top ranked and 5th ranked and 7th ranked prospects, we'll take a call on Chris Bubic. But if you're not offering that, we're not really open for business. That's where I think you would make the exception. If you just got the haul,
sure,
the world is the world, and you just got to kind of make your decision.
Yeah, the only player I'm not.
But they don't need to.
The only player I'm not.
Sell everything.
The only player I'm not staying on the phone to listen to the conversation longer is for Bobby Witt. That's it. Everybody else, I'm serious.
Could you imagine a GM
literally everybody else. If somebody called up and mentioned any other player, I would at least give them a minute for their pitch.
You wouldn't even be able to finish. They wouldn't even
Bobby
be able to finish his name.
All right, you're okay.
Dodgers called and they're like, "Hey, JJ, so Lugo, yeah. Hold on, just one other guy. I gotcha.
How about Bobby? Hang up.
Bobby available?
The call's over. The call's over at that point in time.
You can't even trade for the other players now. You've insulted me so greatly.
Anybody else though? Yeah, of course you at least listen. It doesn't hurt to listen. You know, someone said, what makes you think they would compete next year? I'm just telling you based off of this organization. One very similar roster last year did compete. This year, it's trending. Obviously, they're not going to make the postseason. But in terms of next season, the organization has already positioned themselves. Like next year, John Sherman is not saying, "Oh yeah, I'm willing to punt on 26." That's why I'm saying they're looking to compete. Meaning they will make other moves in the offseason that will lend itself to being an aggressive move for 26. Now we can debate, like, will they actually make the playoffs in 26? Hell if I know. I can't predict that. My point is, are they going to operate like they are trying to truly compete in 26? They are going to. So if you are not wanting them to do that, that's fine, but that means you are accepting that it could be 27 or 28 till they're back in it, which I think would be foolish. They finally made the playoffs last year, and now you're fine with them back to being a team that's not going to compete for 2 straight years or whatever. I just that doesn't make any sense to me if you're a fan on that end. Like, I don't get it. I know like we're all disappointed with how this team is performing, but to act like now because they made the playoffs and then this year has been disappointing, now you're suddenly good for multiple years of not trying to compete again, that makes no sense.
I guess it goes back to like when I said I think this team has enough talent to be a playoff team, and they've come up way short of that. Text line, stop defending their play. I didn't defend it. I said, if anything, I'm more angry than you. I thought this team still has enough talent. I don't think they're talentless. I think that's a mistake. And that goes back to what makes you think this year's team could compete in 2026? Because I'll just be honest with you. I know we're used to cheering on the Royals like they're a loser who can accomplish nothing. There's been a lot of years in this franchise that's the case. Fans talk about this year's team like they're last year's Chicago White Sox or this year's Colorado Rockies, in which there's no redeeming quality, in which the team has not competed or even been anywhere near it. They're not like so embarrassing they have no chance to be in a hunt. They have been below average. They're below average. They're not 30-60. We can relax a little on the they can't compete. They look so bad they can't compete in 2026. What about this year's team makes them have no hope to compete in 2026? That feels too far.
So I don't disagree. I mean, that part is true that this is not a team that's 20 games under 500 but at the same time, the bar has been raised not only by the Royals themselves, and they should be held to a higher standard. And I actually think if you're that organization, you should want fans to hold you to a higher, standard. I would say in this market as well over the last decade, because of the Chiefs' success over the last 5 to 7 years, I would argue that sports fans in Kansas City's bar has been raised as a whole because, hey, one team's going to championships, winning championships consistently. And so that has raised the bar across the parking lot. And so that's healthy. That's good as a sports fan. I'm not going to crush people for that. I am with you, though, that yes, at times the conversation you would think this team is 15 under, 20 under 500. They're not. But I'm fine
never won a game.
But I'm fine with the bar being extremely high because we all believe this team should have competed for a division title this year. Now, a lot of things went wrong for them, and also the Detroit Tigers are having an unbelievably great season. Nobody thought they were going to be the best team in baseball. But that's sports. That happens. And that's the reality is this team is underachieved, and they are one of the most underachieving teams in 2025.
Things can obviously be a little bit different, but somebody from the 620 texted in, they were in prime position to add bats in the offseason and just added a reliever. 2 of the guys, the main 2 guys, one stinks this year. He's having an awful season. The other one was suspended 50 games or 80 games or whatever it was in Jerks and Profar. I think it would make 80, I think it would make the conversation actually worse where you spent all that money, and I think it would the fact that they didn't add those bats, it would have made it worse had Santander been brought in and he was having the type of year that he's having this year while also making that money. I think it would have even been worse.
Look, hindsight's 2020. The real one you would debate more than even those would just be, should they have tried to trade Brady Singer for an outfielder instead of bringing in Jonathan India? But that's also hindsight 2020, and I don't know what other outfielder you were going to get. If you're going to say Cody Bellinger, I don't think that was ever happening.
No, I don't think so either. There was more available in the infield market. It was a thin at the outfield market. That's why Santander got paid what he got paid. And I'm not saying they offered Santander a ton of money. So I'm not being like,
they liked him.
They were so smart for avoiding that contract.
No, they tried
to pay him.
They would love for him to have been on this team.
Yeah, they tried to pay him a whole bunch of money. And thankfully somebody tried to pay him more or did pay him more and they didn't have to avoid it. But yeah, it just creates a whole nother thing.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew, over in the text line, 913-586-7965. Of course, the random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. You can catch on the video streams, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. Live stream, all 4 hours, every single show, all 12 hours on the station, broadcast live. Like and subscribe over on YouTube if you want that to pop at the top of your page. Mm-hmm. That way you don't have to go looking. Gold, the random question today actually came from your buddy.
Yeah,
I was asking a question, and we felt like we could take it to the people.
Yeah, I had a friend message me. We were going to get to this on Friday, so this is from last week, and he was saying, hey, I have like 150 or 200 jerseys, is what he said, that's a crazy amount of jerseys. 150 or 200. Mostly, he said, Chiefs, soccer, and KU. And he's had some legend jerseys in the past, like Derek Thomas, etc. And he said, if I'm looking for a Royals jersey, what am I getting? Do I go with the current player, Bobby? Do I go with a future, more of the future in Cags? Do I go with the legacy guy in Salvi? Or do I go to the legend guys like Bo Jackson and George Brett? Now, I answered pretty quickly.
So
That's
current
the question.
legend, former legend, current superstar, maybe future superstar.
Yep.
That's essentially the argument.
Mhm.
That does, I will say, that covers the timeline.
It does. It does. I answered right away. You tell me if you would answer differently. I said, you still got to go Bobby. You still got to go get the Bobby Wood Jr. jersey. Now, if you're kind of trying to go with like the popular like pop culture play, I'm going to another city and everybody's going to think it's kind of a cool jersey, you go with the Bo Jackson jersey. He's the cooler player from everybody knows Bo Jackson. But if you're just saying like current Royals player, it's not even close. Bobby Wood Jr. is the jersey you buy.
If
Not
it's
even
current
close.
Royals player, Salvi is tempting.
I guess if you don't have a Salvi one.
As you mentioned, and like that with the question I follow. Let's just say this person is only going to buy. They don't own any other jerseys. They're going to own one jersey to wear to Royals games, wear to the bar if they're talking about the Royals or anything outside.
He does not have a single Royals jersey.
If that's the case, I actually think I'd make the argument for Salvador Perez.
Really?
He currently plays for your team. He's got a chance of being a future Hall of Famer. He will have a statue outside of whatever new Royal Stadium will be one day. I think I could make the argument. The Bobby thing is the only problem is like, what if he's a Yankee for the last 10 years or a Dodger for the last 10 years? Salvi's been a lifer one way or the other, even if he spends 1 year in a different organization.
But by that logic,
he's a lifer.
By that logic, though, you're basically saying, because reality of this baseball, you're basically saying they shouldn't buy
You
a
can't
jersey.
buy another Royals jersey ever again.
Because most guys don't finish their career.
That's tough.
I think Bobby's the easy answer. I would say Bobby, or I would go with the Bo Jackson route. Just go with the cool jersey. Go with the cool name.
Of the Legends too, I would take the Bo Jackson instead of the Brett. And that's not to say Brett wasn't the better player. He's obviously the better player. But what we're talking about is like
Powder blue Bo. Powder blue Bo.
You go to the stadium for the next 10 years, the Bo Jackson, it's just a cooler jersey. Bo Jackson is one of the coolest players of all time. So that is a cool jersey and infinitely cool as a result of it. Nothing against George Brett. You're fine and safe with any of these, right? But I would wear the Bo one instead of the George Brett one. I think I could make the argument for Salvi. Bobby's probably the obvious answer, but someone says the answer is Buddy Bianca Lana. You're like, you got to go obscure. No, I'll just say right now, if I'm going obscure player.
What Royals player jerseys do you currently have?
I own a Bo.
You do have a Bo.
I have a Bo.
I do not. I don't have a Bo or a Jackson or a Brett.
I own Brett and Bo.
Okay.
Those were both like off the truck specials probably 10 years ago.
Okay. See, I only have Bobby and I have a Cags. That's
I
it.
have one that says
Those
the
are
boys
two.
are playing some ball with the number 7. So I guess that's a Bobby. And then we got a Bobby one for our Winnizens event. So I have that. And I have a Zach Greinke.
Okay.
I
still have a Lorenzo Cain. I do have a Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah. If I was going to get a random Royals, like the names they're saying, if I was going to get any kind of random Royals jersey, I'm getting Bob the Hammer Hamlin. I'll just say right now, if I'm buying like somebody said like a buddy, if I'm buying like a random Royals jersey, catch me with Bob the Hammer Hamlin jersey. That's the one I'd own.
Drew, you said you want a Frank White jersey. You said you want one of those.
I did.
He also has a statue to the statue point.
Yeah, you said you wanted a Frank White jersey. We're still trying to get one of those.
Someone said, "Show me no ball, Gordon jersey." I think there is a level, Cody, to what you're saying of the
Gordon's got some cachet.
And this is nothing against obviously any of the other players, but if you're wearing, my first thought is if I see somebody in a Salvi jersey, man, they've been through it. I think is the way that I would think if it were there. Not that there's a higher respect level, but you've been through some ups and you've been through some downs, and you're still rocking the Salvi jersey, and Salvi's stuck with it the whole time as well. I think you can respect a Salvi jersey.
Yeah,
won a world champion. That's the only argument
for sure.
He's been a lifer.
Part of the World. You have a jersey
That's a
from
World Series winner, man.
I think you got to have a jersey from. I think you got to have one Royals jersey in your collection from somebody that won a championship. I don't know whether it's Brett, whether it's any of those Haas, Moose, Lorenzo, So for me, that answer is Lorenzo Cain. I don't have a Salvi jersey, but I got my Cain jersey from the 14-15 run. And now I Bobby in a Cags jersey.
I want to pick up a City Connect one. That way, at least I got the alternate to wear out to the game.
I'm not a huge fan of the City
You
Connect.
said you like the hat.
No,
maybe.
It's the
you don't
opposite.
like either.
The hat looks like it, and I know it's supposed to be a city hat.
Think
It looks like the
you work for
KC Mo Water Department or something. I don't like the hat. I don't like the hat, but I like the jersey. And the powder blue, come on. The powder blue Bo Jackson, to me, it might be one of the greatest jerseys in sports.
Unfortunately, Gold, I can't do what you said and get a jersey of people who won a championship because none of my teams have won championships.
That's true.
Not a single team you cheer for?
Okay,
He's a Pacers.
Wisconsin got one?
Technically, Wisconsin has one a very, very long time ago.
Like how long ago?
Like 1939
Well, that
long ago.
That doesn't count.
Again,
whatever.
I don't count it either. I don't even know who was
Yeah.
playing on the Badgers basketball team back in 1939. But yeah, I just settle for the better players, I guess. Since I don't have any. Since my teams don't have any championships, I guess.
What about flip the conversation real quick? We were talking about the Royals. What about flip it over to the Chiefs? So the original question was about the Royals. On the Chiefs end, does the same thing? I mean, look.
I think
when your
Jamal
quarterback
Charles
is Patrick Mahomes, I mean, like that's the easiest answer.
We have to kind of take him off the list because it's Mahomes.
Outside of Mahomes,
if you're only buying one,
outside of
the
Mahomes,
only one to buy is Patrick Mahomes.
If I was a Chiefs fan,
it can't be Mahomes.
I would go Eric Berry. Or
let's
Jamal
separate.
Charles.
So current and former, two different answers.
So the former star is Lynn Dawson, right?
No, not for me.
Tony Gonzalez, Lynn Dawson.
So
I mean, all-time Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So I have a Gonzalez
Derek
jersey.
Thomas?
To me, the old
the
if you're going back, to me it's a Gonzalez or a Derek Thomas jersey. If you're going way back, current, if it can't be Mahomes, it'd be McDuffie for me.
Ooh, so current.
I would take a wide receiver's jersey.
Kelsey obviously can't go wrong there either, but I would go McDuffie.
Kelsey is exactly like getting the Salvi one. I mean, identical to getting the Salvi one.
Sure.
I mean, championships, legend, future Hall of Famer. Kelsey's probably my answer. Like, I don't know why that wouldn't be the one you'd purchase.
Justin Ross?
Because there's not a single other player that you can be sure will be here forever.
Someone said,
for me, it ended
Stoney?
up being Creed Humphrey, but that's different.
You could talk me into Jamal Charles for sure. I think I had
Jamal Charles was my guy.
Like a knockoff Jamal Charles way back in the day as a
Him or
kid.
Eric Berry. Those would be the two that I would. I think would be pretty sick. Somebody says Kadarius Toney,
Savvy Piscatelli,
Luis Rizamet.
Yes.
Louis
LRC. Oh, Aguilar. Wow.
Pitch and all kinds of random ones.
Wait, Patrick Surtain Chiefs jersey. I mean, you're wearing the senior, I guess. I mean, sure.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Who's owning a Patrick Surtain jersey?
In a Chiefs or Ty Law in a Chiefs. Come on now.
Ty Law in a Chiefs is bold.
Tyler Thigpen jersey. Jody Fortson. That's true. I am wearing the Jody Fortson shirt today. So yeah, Jody Fortson jersey.
I was digging down the 1939 Badgers so we could get a jersey that you could actually wear.
Drew?
There's no way that
Can you name a member of the 19?
No, I can't.
Just get the head coach, Dick Bennett, head coach.
Dick Bennett?
What was he really coaching back then?
I don't know. That's just what it's at the bottom of this page for. Oh, you know what? Maybe that goes too far back.
Because Tony Bennett, the former Virginia coach, has ties to University of Wisconsin.
Dick Bennett wasn't born until 43.
I was
it
going
can't
to say,
be. He
there's
wasn't
no
even
way.
born. He wasn't born.
I apologize.
He's still alive, Cody. He's 82.
I go even further down the list.
Hang on a second.
Harold E. Foster was the coach.
Harold E. Foster.
Yeah, no.
Where the hell that guy
Couldn't tell
is.
you a single player on that team. I didn't know Harold E. Foster was the coach either.
You didn't know? Oh, man. And the national championship game was played at Municipal Auditorium. You could have watched, if only you were 100 years older, Drew, you could have watched the Badgers win a national championship.
You know where Bud Foster's from? Newton, Kansas. I think a little bit north of Wichita,
How about
if I'm not
that, huh?
mistaken.
Kansas ties to Wisconsin. Wisconsin almost. Wisconsin, I guess, and the Bengals they've both been equally as close to winning a title.
Leading scorer of the game, that's the jersey you want. Gene England.
How many points did he score? Like 5?
13, my guy. How dare you disrespect the name of Gene
We're
England.
talking basketball in 1939.
They scored 39 points in that game. That man was responsible for 30. That man was responsible for 33% of their score. He was dropping buckets. He's the Steph Curry of his time.
That is the random question of the day. Let's talk long-term options on offense and defense for the Chiefs and where your confidence lies based off of the contract handed out to George Karlaftis. That's next here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Men, look, it's been summer. You're just tired. Can't get any energy. Can't get off the couch. None of that is living. Just all aspects of your life, things have been slowing down. Why don't you get back to your best at Low T Center for a limited time only? The test is free. Time's running out, but there's never been a better time to find out your T level. Just visit the Low T Center, take the test, you get the results back right there. Only takes about 15 minutes. And like I said, right now, the test is still free. So get in now before you miss your chance. Most major insurance is accepted, so you know the treatment cost should be minimal. Plus, taking control of your health is easier than ever because of it, so what are you waiting for? The Low T Center gives you the power to take control of your health with a custom-dosed TRT, that testosterone treatment plan, individualized for you with their in-care center, or if you want to go medically monitored over on the phone, you can do all that stuff and make your choice. Plus, if you're already there, you can get $150 or $250 credit if you refer a new patient as well over at Low T Center. Book your appointment at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Is your old garage door a real clunker? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards a new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old opener and entry door too. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate at overheaddoorkc.com or call 816-221-0072.
It's summertime, and I love being outside, hanging out, doing all of those great outdoor activities. But if you have knee, hip, or shoulder pain and it's not getting any better, and you're stuck in a cycle of steroid shots, and now they're talking about surgery, slow down a minute. I may have the solution for you. Hey, it's Bob Fesco, and my friends at QC Kinetics are the leaders in regenerative medicine, using treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. And the best part about it is there's no meds, there's no surgery. It's advanced cellular therapy. These aren't Band-Aids. We're not masking the pain. It goes right to the root of the problem. And the best part is you can get a free second opinion. A licensed medical provider will go over your x-rays or MRI and see if you're a good fit for these breakthrough treatments. And it doesn't cost anything. So call QC Kinetics today, 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. Saturday appointments available. It's QC Kinetics.
Say goodbye to dealerships and private sale tire kickers when you sell your car to GiveMeTheVin.com. Now we're even better with the GiveMeTheVin.com big cash giveaway. Win $25,000 in cash every month. Sell us your car to increase your odds of winning. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Century Roofing remains the best roofing company to call for insurance claims from storm damage, roof repair, and inspections throughout Kansas City. They were just voted as both the best roofing company in Johnson County for the 4th straight year and the best roofing company in all of Kansas City by readers of the Johnson County Post and the KC Star. So trust the pillars of strength and go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent fountain and frozen drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, or dig between your couch cushions, or ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. We take those too. 89-cent frozen and fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made Probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It's time
Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Travis Kelce Appreciation Day on Fesco and Dusty is on Thursday, August 7th, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2, Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Have you guys seen these hideous throwback Steeler uniforms? So, we know they've worn the Bumblebee ones and all that, but I just
have not,
saw...
but black and yellow is tough to do in a lot of different color patterns.
It is, but there's a new version, I guess, that they're going with. So not the gold helmets are fine. I actually don't mind the gold helmets. Okay, that it is what it is. Whatever. It may not look that great, but
why is it connecting into the logos? The part that's confusing me.
That's just the design of the helmet, not like
okay.
The actual helmet. Here's a better.
But it kind of looks like it's going into the helmet.
Kind of, yes. So
which I think is
the yellow lids, whatever, like that. That's not. It's the actual uniform. Yellow's a tough.
I'm still scrolling
you
down.
Need
Let me
to
see the
pull
uniform.
Do you see it? It's kind of like the Bumblebee ones here. It's kind of like the Bumblebees.
Oh man, this looks like
they're hideous. Hideous. The helmet actually, I don't mind.
This looks like it belongs in The Longest Yard.
It's a modern version of the throwback. They've worn the Bumblebees, but it's the 1933 throwback uniform. Matte gold helmet.
The Bumblebees look better than these.
Yeah, it's a matte gold helmet, 1933 jersey stripe, classic block numerals. They got the city crest and then the 1933 ugly pants. Yeah, go with that helmet with the black unis, and I actually think it looks good.
Yeah, it's no good.
But the whole throwback is an ugly look.
It's hideous.
I know we want the Chiefs to do some other ones at times, but you know what? There's a reason why they stick with their originals, man. They don't mess with some of this ugly crap.
I mean, we know that they're going to have to do a City Connect because the NFL's doing that as partners.
As long as it's not yellow.
Do the
this
Chiefs
is
have
just another
old,
reminder.
Get me the black matte helmet with the red arrowhead outline, please, and I'm good. That's all I want.
Do the Chiefs have throwback uniforms, or is it more of just
the Dallas Texan?
Is their uniform.
Just the Dallas Texan logo on the helmet, which they've done that before. That's their throwback, basically. The Dallas Texan logo.
Yeah, which they've done a couple of times and do the rest of the uniform pretty standard. But no, they do. The Chiefs do not have a throwback as the
These are their
throwbacks.
Yeah.
What they wear now is what they've always been wearing and maybe will always wear as a portion of that. They never did a redesign or anything else. These, I don't know, man. These look like they belong in the year is 2045. Judge Dredd attends a football game, and these are the jerseys on the opposing squad. It's like a modern take on Demolition Man era football unis is the way I feel about it. As if they had made a movie about the year 2040, but they made it in the year 1988, and this was their take of what the Steelers' modern uniforms would look like 40 years in the future. That's my exact take of what it looks like. I don't know, man. Not great. But yellow and black's just tough. I think it's a tough one to make look good in a different colorway. You just got to, and people always want to go the less color, the highlight color more rather than more black or more white. And the answer is always more black or more white. Less of the other color.
I think all black would be great.
Cincinnati goes more orange. You're no, less orange. Orange is a very bright color.
Especially because the oranges aren't the same shade.
Yeah, we don't need more orange or more yellow. Those are very bright colors.
Or like the Chargers, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, less of those things. Someone says, just makes me think of those futuristic Mariner uniforms. The Chiefs and the Royals? The Royals and the Mariners? Those were something, man. Those throwback. Have you ever seen those,
The
Drew?
ones with the Triton?
No.
Like
This is like from the
end?
1990s.
Very
Turn ahead the clock game. Royals, Mariners. Did you, you've never seen those?
Old man. I'm sure I have. Just Mariners 90s uniforms?
Mariners and Royals played a game called Turn Ahead the Clock. That's what you want to look at. And for that, they created what they believed the uniforms would look like in the future. There were other teams in baseball who did it too.
Oh, these are terrible.
Those are the ones that they went with. The Royals had the gold helmet, but like the yellow jersey.
It looks like the windbreaker that you have, Cody. The windbreaker giveaway that they had. It looks kind of like that.
It was
like the vest part, if you will. The Mariners jerseys are terrible, though.
They're equally as bad.
gold helmet. It was
what?
just
Equally as bad.
They got Ken Griffey in a tank top, basically playing. is the picture that I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He cut the sleeves off. I think some other people had longer sleeves. Got to look cool. I hope if you still have it, you know what? That's the random Royals jersey your buddy should get. Get a Johnny Damon that jersey.
No chance.
Yeah, they'd be like,
I don't think you can
me?
find
Like,
that
this
anywhere
is-
anyway.
Could you buy that?
I don't
Does
know
anyone
if you
sell
can
that?
find that. Somebody could probably make a replica of it, but
Do you think people would buy it if you just did like a limited run?
yeah, just because of the novelty of it.
Honestly, the Royals, it'd be a fun theme night to force the Royals to wear these one more time.
I'm trying to find it on.
Mariners come to town. This would be a fun theme night. Throw
You
it
get
back.
both teams to agree.
Yeah, get both teams to agree to put on these horrible unis again. Turn it whenever. Hey, when was Turn Ahead the Clock supposed to be? What year were they turning
Probably
ahead the clock
2020
to?
or something.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Whatever year it was supposed to be, throw them back on for that.
I cannot find one available.
Yeah, I doubt it. You probably have to get it custom made.
They thought the fans were transported. Oh, incredible! We know Royals. You're probably already working on this. I'm not telling you anything.
Next year.
2027. That's when they were saying fans were transported to the year 2027 for the 50th anniversary of Mariners baseball. If you two teams, it was a game in Seattle. If you guys do not do Turn Ahead the Clock night and the schedule makers do not put the Royals against the Mariners on July 18th of 2027, they've made a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Put them back in these jerseys anytime in the month of July. Just for that game. You have to do it.
So there are no Royals ones. However, you can get a Seattle Mariners Ken Griffey Jr. Turn Ahead the Clock sleeveless jersey, $52 on eBay right now.
There you go.
Is it like just somebody making knockoffs?
Potentially.
I mean,
$52. Yeah,
$52.
$52. If it was if it was a game worn Griffey, I can promise you it's not $52.
There are multiple ones of the Griffey one on eBay.
Okay.
Weird that they don't have any Royals.
Sorry, I got way down a rabbit hole.
Anyway, the Steelers did announce new throwback uniforms for this upcoming season. All right, let's talk about the Chiefs. We know Karlaftis got his deal. We've already spent a good chunk of the show discussing that. But now that you see Trey Smith get a deal, Karlaftis get a deal, looking ahead to the future, are you more confident in the long-term options on offense or on defense based on who's under contract? And I still think this is a pretty simple answer. It still is the offense, one, because of Patrick Mahomes, and that solves and fixes a lot of this. He also is under contract long-term. I know my center is under contract long-term. I know my right guard is under contract long-term, and there's a chance my long-term answer at left tackle is going to be on a rookie deal for 4 years. Wide receiver-wise, I got Rice for 2 more years, Worthy for 3 more years without having to pay them a big contract. You're going to say, well, Kelsey's not a long-term option. Yeah, they got to figure out long-term what they're doing at tight end. But when you have Patrick Mahomes, it kind of solves a lot of this. So it still would be offense for me in terms of my long-term confidence.
So the defense has more long-term pieces that I trust will be really good for the long term. McDuffie, Karlaftis, the secondary pieces outside of those, even the safeties, right? Hicks and Cook and some of these guys that I'm like, those are nice, solid NFL players, many of them under contract. I don't worry about the turnover on that. But they both have big questions. For the defense, it's if I say 4 years down the road, what's the defensive line look like? I got to be honest, though. I think Chris Jones is playing at least 3 more years for Kansas City. And I think Karlaftis is here for the whole 4. So how bad could my defensive line be? The offensive line, I don't even know if the Chiefs have a left tackle. I don't know that yet. I for sure know they don't have a right tackle after this year. So then I'm already stuck there. I don't know about left guard for sure. I know about center and right guard. The wide receivers I feel pretty good about, but none under a long-term contract, so I can't guarantee any of their length of time. Don't feel good about the running backs. Smaller, but also just there. So, like, I actually think if it weren't for Mahomes, my answer would be the defense.
Yeah,
if
probably.
Mahomes didn't exist, I would say I feel better about the long-term prospects and the control and the players they have under control and what they have to look forward to on defense as being the more consistent unit over the next 4 years. Mahomes is a big swing in this and makes it hard for me to give that answer, knowing that they won a Super Bowl once with Sky Moore, MVS, McCole Hardman,
Yeah,
and
they've had
Kadarius
5
Toney
different left tackles.
And they had 5 different left tackles and won 3 Super Bowls during that time. So the problems they have on offense, even if they don't get answered, the prospects on offense are still better because Patrick Mahomes exists, right?
Now, in a couple of those years, you would
argue
a couple of those years, the defense is why they were able to actually get to ultimately where they were at. Yeah, it's interesting. I still think you got to side with the offense. I also think, like, running back, I just don't worry about that long term. Like, they will figure that out. We were disappointed with how they handled this offseason, but if you tell me in 2 years that nobody in the backfield currently other than like Brashard Smith is even on the roster, I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, I'm not going to be terrified by that. Like, there's a real chance that
in 3 years,
there's a real
no
chance,
running backs. Yeah,
there's a real chance in 2 years that nobody's left. They're like that. I know we all want the 7th round pick Smith to be a huge weapon in the future, but there's a real chance in 2 years none of the guys in the current backfield are on the team. Maybe one, and that's fine. Like,
that's every running back. I would say that about 25 teams in the league. The only team I'm confident will have the same running back in 3 years is Bijan Robinson. End of list. And Ashton Jeanty. Who I believe
I'd be more
anybody who was
confident.
drafted this year, there's about a 50-50 chance they'll still be on the roster in 3 or 4 years. End of list. Every other team that has a veteran running back, I can't tell you that Christian McCaffrey will still be the starter for the 49ers in 3 years. None of that.
Real quick, because we were talking about the Royals thing, it's just funny. Somebody just tagged us on Twitter and said they have the Royals dugout lineup card from the turn ahead the clock game in Seattle. Now, I was at that one as well. I didn't know you had the lineup card. That's cool. 2018. So they did the turn ahead the clock game in 2018 already.
Oh, so they already did it. Well, they just got to do it again in 2027.
And it was Royals Mariners. I was actually, no, I'm not even kidding. I was at that game, June 30th, 2018. Absolutely.
How do you know you were at that game?
Because that was right after I got laid off in Boise, and I had a trip planned to Seattle already, and I met some people in Seattle for Royals and Mariners.
And do you remember what jerseys were they wearing for the 2018?
They were definitely futuristic jerseys, and we thought everything was weird. And the scoreboard was also, they changed the whole outlay of the scoreboard and everything.
But it wasn't the same jerseys as the one from the 90s.
No, not fully, I don't believe.
Oh, no, it was. They did
Here's
put them
a
in the
photo of
old. They
Seattle
did
in
put them
front
in
of
the
the
old
stadium.
Mariners one. Yeah, I kind of forgot about this. In the 2018 one, they put them in those 1990s era one. Did the Royals wear them or just the Mariners?
Yeah, this photo's terrible, but that was the night.
How the hell were you just randomly at that game?
Yeah, that just happened.
reason?
Literally, the photo says June 30th, 2018. Now I guess I don't remember the jerseys. Oh wait, yeah, here you go. Yeah, that was.
But what were the Royals wearing? Were they back in the yellow ones? Probably not.
All I know is on the video board, like when they introduced Mike Moustakas, it was very like futuristic.
Oh, those are. Oh, I do remember those. Okay, you're good. I remember those. They weren't quite the same as the old ones.
Yeah.
The crown one looks ugly. Whatever. Either
Anyway.
way, in 2027, I'm planning on being there. You know, let's have a little fun. I guess it'll have to be in Seattle though. Never been to Seattle. You know, visit a new city.
It's a great park. I'll tell you that. Great park, especially if you go on a nice night and the roof is open and the skyline. It's a hell of a park. They've redone the club level and stuff there too.
Fancy.
Very nice. Yeah.
Okay.
I used to know. I don't know if you still. I used to know one of their broadcasters. I was doing games out there, and so that's how we used to have them on in Boise because there were a lot of Mariners fans in Boise. So that's how I got tickets for the game.
A lot of Mariners fans in Boise.
Yeah, Seattle's not in Pacific Northwest, man. Idaho borders Washington.
How far are we talking? Like 3-hour drive?
No.
10-hour drive?
Yeah.
You said not far. I was like, it's longer than.
Yeah, but that's not. It's the state borders Washington and Canada and Oregon and Utah and
States are big
and
sometimes.
a bunch of other states. Yeah. Anyway.
Go back to our state ranking of where you would live least.
Yeah. Well, you know I'm not going to Spokane, Washington. You know that.
No, you hate Spokane.
It's a terrible city. It just is.
I've
It
never
just
been, man.
is.
I
Shout
really
out to
can't.
Spokane or whatever it is.
Shout out to Gonzaga.
That's exactly right, Drew. That's exactly right. That is where Gonzaga is at. I never went to I should have gone to a Zags game when I was somewhat in that part of the country.
At least once.
It might have elevated your thought
Maybe.
of the city, maybe.
All I know is plenty of things I've heard about from people that used to live in Spokane when I lived out in Idaho.
Has anybody found anything more information out for me on Becca, or are we still just?
Yeah, if you missed it earlier in the show, Cody said he had a
Are we
mystery.
still just waiting?
Cody had a mystery for us, and it's like, oh boy, who knows? And Cody said he was driving around this weekend and noticed graffiti. We're like, okay, yes, there's graffiti, Cody. And then you said, no. There's a bunch of graffiti that keeps looking for someone named Becca.
It said, Becca, please come home. I miss you. There's another piece of Becca related stuff over on 71 that I've seen that says, Becca, where did you go? Then somebody said there's a third one in town. I think we're up to like 4 different Becca sightings of tags done with spray paint. This person desperately wants to find Becca, and I just thought it'd be nice for the show to find out how that story ended.
A lot of people on the text line seem to think this is...
whoever who was pining over Becca still know where she is. It didn't look like... It wasn't done in graffiti in a way where like some artist is making some like...
People think it's homeless people. Most people think it's just homeless.
Oh, interesting.
And they're looking for somebody. And that's their way to communicate.
And they don't know where...
I have no idea. That's the text line.
And
theory.
they thought that used to be like the corner she'd stand on and...
Oh, the corner she stands on. So are you
wait for
suggesting...
money? No,
are
I
you
just said wait for
suggesting
money.
she's a prostitute?
I was saying maybe she was panhandling. And, that used to be a regular corner for the panhandling.
And
so
now people want to know where Becca is. Do you think
she
it was
found a different spot?
Do you think it was someone driving by that used to give change to Becca, and they got out of their car and they wrote that on the concrete, Cody, and that's how this all happened?
Someone is claiming there's one all the way in Lee's Summit. No way.
No, look at the
I don't know if that's a... I mean,
Is
I
it
have to
saying
read that
it's
a
on
very...
Road?
I have to read that a very specific way in order to get there.
Drew's shaking his head. He wants no part of any jokes about people today at all.
Correct.
Absolutely no humor today. I don't know what has happened to our producer today.
No
real
humor,
road.
no.
No humor about anybody allowed.
That's a real road.
It is.
Summit.
Hang on.
Hook Road or Hooker Road?
No.
Hook Road.
Okay.
No, humor is fine. It's you're not.
I was just asking to find out what happened. I felt like that guy was in knots.
Maybe Becca's long gone at this point in time.
Yeah, she might. Yeah.
This is 2025. All the people got have cell phones. I just wanted to know what happened with Becca. Is that so crazy?
Maybe the whole point is they just want to mess with people.
I felt like this guy was in knots. Oh, they just hoping that one day some local radio guy would be hooked into this thing and be like, I got him.
Yep.
Many years ago when I wrote that, I knew this would eventually catch road. And then, here we go. We'll figure it out. Someone says we're about to get a bunch of Becca copycats around town now, asking even more about where she is.
That's true.
Because of this show, people are going to go spray paint Becca things in the city. If you guys see it, though, take a picture and send it to me. I want to know
the exact
which part
location.
Of the city. This one is I-435 in Front Street. Right if you get off Front Street, heading northbound, it's on the concrete barriers. You're getting ready to turn left. It says, Becca, I miss you. Please come home. That's what it said.
Well, let me ask you this as well.
Please come home.
Did you stop to see what was written, or was it
It's
graffiti? Big
It's
enough.
graffiti, pretty big.
So it was big enough for you to see
Pretty
and
big.
not stop driving to
And that's
read
not
it.
the only place in town. I have now up to 5 places people are claiming there's graffiti that mentions
This is
Becca.
a large message.
This
It's
person
not just-
traveled the city looking for Becca.
Someone
and
says
could never find her.
Becca left with a truck driver at the Flying J. Long gone.
Dude, that Flying J is sketchy as
Really?
hell. My daughter's dance studio used to be not terribly far from there. Not kidding. Used to be not terribly far from there. And so I've been in that Flying J a couple times. They still got a dot matrix printer for all the truckers.
Oh, wow.
You'll get people getting their invoice.
Drew says he's a
thing.
pilot guy. Or no, a loves guy.
Loves guy.
Loves guy.
Loves.
Sorry, excuse me. Loves guy.
Yep. I will drive an extra. I will.
Next line.
If I have to drive an extra 25 minutes to go to hold it and not go to the bathroom to get to a Love's, I will drive the extra 25 minutes to get to a Love's.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a quick trip loyalist. Don't get me wrong. 25 minutes. That's tough.
I will say
I'll
the
drive
loves,
extra
the
25.
loves tend to be very nice if you're on a road trip, I will say. A lot of the pilot Flying J are they merged or the same company?
Those are honestly fine too, but I think Love's is just the best of the bunch.
Somebody just thinks it's.
You see, the Buc-ee's is delayed. The one out by you, Drew. The one they're building.
okay,
And
so-
now, I think now they're saying it's delayed a year or something.
I'll be honest.
year?
I think I saw that.
I am confused because I don't know what exit it's supposed to be on, but
Okay.
there's a price chopper. The price chopper that I go to, they're building a gas station not too far from a Quick Trip. It looks like it could be a Buc-ee's. However, I've been to Buc-ee's one time, and this one that they're building looks too small to be a Buc-ee's. Maybe that's why there's
It's
delays
delayed
there.
several months.
I don't know if they just ran out, but the space that they're building this gas station, and if this is Buc-ee's, is in an odd. It doesn't look like it would be a full-size Buc-ee's.
Yeah, this just the latest article from July.
They build them small, man.
From July 7th was the much anticipated Buc-ee's is set to open in late August or early September.
In my area,
the
but I
development
wonder where.
agreement stipulates construction can start no later than July 31st. So, like 10 days from now. I don't know if that's supposed to happen. 120 gas pumps. 120 gas pumps, 74,000 square foot.
Yeah, there's no way that this gas station is. I don't know where they're putting it.
It cost $95 million to build that Buc-ee's.
Is it over by American Ferry?
How many years does it take for them to get their money back? I'm not saying they're
big business out there,
for sure. But I mean, obviously, they're not doing it if they don't think they're going to make their money back. But like, how many years do you think it takes them to get the $95 million back?
10 to get your.
I have no idea what their normal revenue is.
I don't know
for
how much.
Buc-ee's.
I don't know how much the whatever their main snack is. I forget the
beaver nuggets.
Yeah, the beaver nuggets. I don't know how much they're charging for those, but you consider
it's a lot of beaver nuggets to get to $95 million.
Plus
like $100.
120 pumps
it
too.
Costs 10 cents to make.
How close is it to the interstate? I think is a question because if it's right next to, if it's close enough to the interstate, which again I don't know anywhere over by me that I don't see any development there for right off the interstate for a Buc-ee's, but off the interstate would be great.
According to reports, the annual revenue of a Buc-ee's is between $50 to $100 million, depending.
Oh, so it could be in 1 year.
Now that's not.
That's
revenue.
That's revenue. That's not gross profit.
Yeah,
that's
revenue. Yeah,
50 to 100 million in revenue.
Well, so
even
maybe-
if you think
maybe
it's
10 million,
even if you think it's 10% net out of that, I mean, 10 years, you'd be
making
paying
$5 million, making $5 million off a location a year.
So you get your money back eventually. Got to turn it around.
People are telling you, Drew, that your location, they think it's just another quick trip.
What?
They're just relocating.
So hang on. Oh, okay.
They're going to relocate it, maybe.
Okay, I was going to say, because if they're having two quick trips, they're literally a span of 1,000 or 2,000 feet apart.
Sounds like my dream. Great. Right next to each other. I love quick trips. Where I go 95% of the time.
No problem with them at all. Yeah.
It is odd because
this is an unpaid endorsement.
I do show up to work a lot to the station with quick trip drinks, but
I stopped there this morning. I stopped there most mornings on the way to work.
Road trips home, Loves is where it's at.
Okay, that was not a random question. Just somehow we got stuck on a gas station talk. So we can talk some players missing camp when we come back. Maybe.
That is coming up next. We'll get to who's not available tomorrow. We're in St. Joe, plus what's trending here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Once again, rainy in Kansas City, which is going to show the problems with your roof. If you're looking for a roofing company in Kansas City, it's easy. Century Roofing. You don't have to just trust me. They were just voted Best of Johnson County for a fourth consecutive year and voted Best Roofing Company in Kansas City, thanks to readers over at the Kansas City Star. That's because they've done 30,000 roofs over 35 years in Kansas City, which means they're going to be there to stand behind their warranty and make sure that you're comfortable for the life of your roof. And that also means they have the experience to work with your insurance company if the roof warrants filing a claim, plus honest and trustworthy. I was worried I needed a new roof. I called Century Roofing. Hey, take a look at it. What do you think? Where are we? They said, no, couple of repairs. Your roof is still in good shape, and we've got some life left in it. When I need the new roof, I'm going to call Century again because I know that their trusted experts can confirm if those damage exist, if the insurance needs to be called, and if things are right where they need to be. Go to centuryroofingkc.com, see for yourself the quality of work they've been doing all over the city, and assess if there's enough damage and it's time to file a claim. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned Century Roofing. That's centuryroofingkc.com.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for detailed terms and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner bets more exciting with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. Log in today and make your picks with confidence with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Divorce is never easy, but selling a home during this challenging time doesn't have to add to the stress. When you work with the Sharp Homes team, they'll help you make a seamless transition. And the Sharp Homes team can give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Contact them to discuss their instant offer program. In fact, contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Just Google Sharp Homes team. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment. Not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is sponsored by Jersey Mike's Subs. Ready for game day? Score big with Jersey Mike's. Piled high, sliced fresh. It's a sub above for your football feast. Order yours today at jerseymikes.com or download the app. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. What's trending?
Number one on what's trending, training camp is officially underway. The players are up in St. Joe. They arrived yesterday. Meetings going on today. Tomorrow, first practice of the 2025/2026 season. We will be in St. Joe, broadcasting live Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. This week, we'll be up there for about 11 shows throughout training camp. If you're going up there, be sure to stop by. We did learn from Andy Reid yesterday that Juwan Taylor and Christian Fulton are going to start the season on the PUP list. We're going to talk more about that in just a bit. Also does mean, though, that Jared Wiley will not be on the PUP list. So remember, they talked a lot about him heading into camp last year, then suffered that knee injury. Really didn't have an opportunity. So if you're looking for a positive out of the update yesterday, it's certainly that Jared Wiley will not be on the PUP list. Also, Josh Simmons, by all accounts, as of right this second, good to go tomorrow. We'll see him hopefully getting just as many reps as Jalen Moore.
They really pretty much get between 10 days, I think, roughly, to come off of that list and not miss the beginning part of the regular season. So we'll be keeping an eye on Fulton and keeping an eye on the two. I'm a little worried Fulton's going to miss the first 6 weeks of the season now all of a sudden.
Andy did say Juwan Taylor is closer to coming back than Fulton, but we don't know.
What does that mean?
Yeah, is it Taylor's 2 weeks away and Fulton's 4? Is it Taylor's 4 days away and Fulton's 2 weeks? Or is it, 2 months? Remember, we're 46 days away from the start of the season.
Next up on What's Trending, the Royals started a series in Chicago. We can talk about that for a few minutes here as well against the Cubs after dropping 2 of 3 to the Marlins. The Marlins have now won 18 of 23 games and have the hottest hitter in baseball in Stowers, certainly going that way. But if the Royals want to remain anywhere near the conversation, as they're 5.5 games back of a wild card spot right now, take a big series against the second best record in baseball. How about that? The Cubs have the second best record in baseball and are actively shopping for Eugenio Suarez and so many other players. Suarez is white hot, by the way. He just keeps slugging homers, slowly catching up with Cal Raleigh, at least on that side of baseball.
Next up on What's Trending, Scotty Scheffler just keeps on winning. He won another major. This time it's the Open Championship, 17 under. On Saturday, he just got hot. Friday, I think he birdied 6 at least. It's just ridiculous. He continues to just kind of seemingly be on cruise control throughout the weekends at these majors. He is now 1 away from the career Grand Slam. That would be the U.S. Open, which my guess is in the next 2 or 3 years, he's probably going to win it. I know it's very difficult to do that, but he's just on a different level than everybody else right now. What's crazy, he probably still needs to do what he's doing for another 5 or 6 years to even get in the same conversation as, having a career that looks remotely like Tiger Woods. That's not to say Scheffler's not incredible, but personality, what it meant to golf, it's still not on the same level to me, but Scheffler is easily favorite for a reason, and now it's almost like, how can you bet against him at any tournament?
Yeah, it's crazy. You can't really. Dusty tried to warn me. I think it was on Thursday. He's like, last chance to bet Scotty. I was like,
true.
Or maybe it was Friday. I was like, yeah, I guess it should have.
Patrick was tied for the lead Saturday morning and then fell off.
That was the guy I had my bet on. Wah, wah. Next up on What's Trending, following the resignation of Lloyd Howe, another shoe has dropped in the NFLPA. J.C. Tretter, has also tendered his resignation yesterday as part of an ongoing investigation that seems to be talking about quite a few improprieties in this case. We found out Lloyd Howe was spending money on strip clubs as part of more information coming out there. J.C. Tretter was the initial favorite to become the new head of the Players Association following Howe leaving, and then he instead resigned. So I got to assume there's some not great stuff probably going to continue to come out
Pablo
about him.
Torre was hinting about that.
So we'll see exactly what comes with next. They do not have anybody in charge. People were hoping that they would have at least an interim guy in charge before the training camps officially start tomorrow. And yet they don't. So they got a lot of work left to do. At least they're not in a year where they're also negotiating, but they're going to have to break in a new person pretty quick on the Players Association side.
Lastly, Will Levis, Titans quarterback, going to miss the entire season. Shoulder surgery. It happened last year. The injury aggravated it. I don't know why they're just now doing surgery. But Cam Ward was going to be the starting quarterback, but this just makes it 100%. Yeah, 100%. Cam Ward will be the starter. Will Levis probably done in Tennessee. The question for him will be, can he recover and be a backup in the league in 2026? But that is what's trending.
I also saw sad news. We don't like to do what's trending a lot. That Malcolm Jamal Warner from The Cosby Show, guy who played Theo, died at the age of 54.
Yeah, just 54 years old. And you were telling me
they called it an accidental drowning. I don't know the details around it, but really
drowning
sad
on
news.
A family trip. Jeez.
Awful. Really awful news. But yeah. Malcolm Jamal Warner, unfortunately, passed away at age 54.
Cosby Show. In Costa Rica.
Maybe in the ocean? I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Presumably. It could have been,
I mean, yes, it could be other bodies of water, but yes.
Still really awful.
He was rescued by people on the beach.
Oh, man.
Huh.
But sad news, if you want to see it. It's up there online. But yeah, we'll be up at camp tomorrow, as you know. 3 times this week, 3 times next week, 3 times the week after that. I think 2 to wrap it up. So if you want to see us at camp, our full schedule is up at TheFan965 on Twitter or Instagram or anywhere else you get your social, at Cody B. Tap, at Alex Gold, or at Drew B. Nix. They're all up there so you can see what days we'll be up at camp as a part of that. But a couple guys won't be ready. You had mentioned on the PUP list to start will be Christian Fulton and Jawan Taylor. Jawan Taylor, he called closer. At the time, I liked the Christian Fulton signing, and I still do because it's a 2-year, $20 million deal. That feels like low risk. I don't think I'd put together just how many games he had missed before signing is in. He misses 3 to 5 games pretty much every year in perpetuity. Last year he didn't, but in the 3 years previous had missed at least that many games at some point. And if he's already hurt, and it's knee injuries reportedly for both, if he's already hurt, well then Noel Williams, or we're right back to the same thing. Hello, Jalen Watson. Hello, Najee Johnson. Hello, Joshua Williams. So, that one's just easier to swallow because, okay, so then what's the worst case scenario? You're in the identical cornerback situation you were last year, except for you also have a 3rd-round rookie who could be good? That doesn't seem on the bet. Jawan Taylor's interesting because can he lose his job if he started, let's say he missed 6 weeks?
Well,
Simmons was the starting left tackle, and then the offseason signing in Moore as the starting right tackle, and they're good.
Yeah, if he misses 6 weeks of the season, of course. Yeah, of course. But based on, and things change, but based on what Andy said last night, it sounds like they think he's the closest to coming back.
Which means he's probably not going to be.
My guess is at some point during camp, we're going to see him. I don't know if it's 2 weeks from now or what, but my guess is Jawan Taylor will end up being at practice at some point during training camp. Kind of remember, was it last year Nick Bolton missed a few days, and then next thing you know, he was activated from the PUP list. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jawan Taylor during camp, and therefore he'll be the starting right tackle week 1. As far as Christian Fulton, much like you, yeah, I like the signing. I still like the signing, and I still think he's going to have an impact at some point, but it's a knee injury. It is someone that's missed some games. It gives them some flexibility with Trent McDuffie. That's why you like the signing. And he's only 26 years old. But can they cover for him? Yeah. Jalen Watson, to me, is still the best of the group outside of McDuffie. I really believe that when he's healthy. And then let's see what Noel Williams can be. I think at some point as the season progresses, he can be someone that fits in. I think it's very optimistic to think Noel Williams can be the number 2 corner week 1. We got to see what he looks like at camp and everything, and maybe all of a sudden he's just ahead of schedule and he's one of those special players. But yeah, they have multiple guys with experience that they can plug in as a number 2 corner if they had to. Remember, last year during camp, the whole story was Spags was honest and said, we don't know who our number 2 corner is yet. Nobody's really won this job. We don't know. It's kind of a really unopen competition. I'll be interested to see what he says in the next week or so up at training camp. But yeah, Christian Fulton is probably the one that seems longer right now as far as recovery. And then Jawan Taylor, I'm honestly not too concerned about. They also, in my opinion, have an option that could play right tackle, either Simmons or Jalen Moore if they had to, or Wanya Morris.
Breaking news in the baseball world. You're not going to be as excited about the break. Maybe you will be, actually.
Okay,
hold on, wait. Okay. Breaking news, according to Robert Murray, Dick Mountain is expected to start for the Royals tomorrow. According to multiple sources.
It's happening.
According to this,
goodness.
Rich Hill is expected to pitch for the Royals this week. Could be as early as tomorrow. That'd be his 14th Major League team, tying Edwin Jackson's Major League Baseball record, if he is to do it. It's not official confirmed yet, but Robert Murray's in the know. He is saying that a likely scenario is that Dick Mountain will be pitching for the Royals tomorrow.
We've been talking about this for a month now, I think, at this point in time. Rich Hill, at some point this year, him or Dallas Keuchel, we're going to start.
It sounds like
by the
your
way,
day
not
was
not
just
a
made,
good.
Gold.
Well, it's not a good thing for the Royals that he's having to pitch.
I said breaking news, and he's like, "Ooh, is it serious news?" And I'm like, "It's not serious news, but I still think you'll be excited."
Your reaction.
I love it because we've been talking about Rich Hill for a month, and the nickname Dick Mountain. Again, they're going to start filming Rookie 2. It'll be at Kauffman Stadium, I'm convinced, and he can do that whole thing as well. Okay, well, here's what's happening. Do you buy into this theory? One, we obviously know Michael Lorenzen's on the IL, so that's obvious. But do you think this says anything about also in the future they want to see, all right, if he gets completely destroyed, then they can just be done with it and cut him and be done. If he pitches semi-decent, gives them a few innings, is he a guy that you're telling me later in the year, if they end up trading Lorenzen or Lugo, and we thought Rich Hill has to be in the rotation the rest of the year?
Somebody says, Gold, they're definitely not making the playoffs if Rich Hill is pitching.
Agree.
I want to point out, but again,
it's true, though, dude. No playoff.
Gurriel hit cleanup for this team for 2 months.
Yeah, Cody, but that was
in Rich Hill can't roll through every 5 days.
That was in September, though. Like, this is talking about if Lugo and Lorenzen get traded, Rich Hill's in this rotation, it's over. It's over at that point in time.
I mean,
someone earlier in the show asked if they should bet in the Royals 7-1 make the playoffs. And I said no.
And someone says now, if Rich Hill's pitching, thank you for saving me money. But also, I mean, sometimes teams have to make crazy starts.
Yeah, I mean, look, look, going back to we can have some fun. We can have some fun with it and all that, but no, in general, a team trying to come out of a hole that they're in under 500 the way they are for 5.5 back of a playoff spot.
Rich Hill's going against the Cubs.
And if you tell me that potentially in the next week you could, have Rich Hill start multiple games, that's not a good sign.
I better say Noah Cameron better go deep tonight because you got to assume that they're going to need some extra help from the bullpen in this series if Rich Hill is really expected to start at some point in this series. We're going to have to try to figure out some way to navigate that throughout. Again, it's Robert Murray who's reporting.
Dick Mountain is back.
In fairness, in his tweet, that's also what he called him.
Well, that's his nickname. It's a real thing. We didn't make this up. This is a real thing. It's what people call him.
3 minutes ago, Annie Rogers, I think, is saying it now.
45 years old.
Tweeted out by Major League Baseball. 45-year-old Rich Hill is back for his 21st season. Reportedly being called up by the Royals, per Annie Rogers.
Well, because the Royals...
So he's expected to start the game tomorrow. So
did they announce? Because the corresponding move is what Hoffman just gets sent down or DFA.
Every time he pitches, man.
So Hoffman, you move Hoffman down or DFA, and then
he just gets sent back
Dick
down.
Mountain or Keuchel would get the start tomorrow, and we now know our answer is Dick Mountain. He gets an opportunity, one start.
Are you excited? You know what? I am more excited for tomorrow's game than if it is a bullpen game. I kind of want to. What, you don't want to see what he brings to the table? Even if it's just morbid curiosity, aren't you interested?
Well, yes, just because I want. Yes, the story of Dick Mountain, 45-year-old pitching. Other than that, there's no upside here. I mean, it's just, there's no upside. I mean, it's just the novelty of making a start at 45 years old. That's it.
But we're all taking this as, oh man, that's tough. I don't want to take Rich Hill making a start as the death of this season.
Wow.
We were already kind of there, but
I win. I think
I got to put this on the headstone. The headstone for the Royal season is Dick Mountain pitches. That's it.
Yeah, but
that's it.
But what if they win?
Oh, that's a good point. They beat the Cubs? Or they beat the Cubs tonight, and then Rich Hill shoves against them tomorrow. Then are you back? If they sweep the Cubs and Rich Hill gets a win, I'm back. I'm back.
Back for what?
Back for the Royals or a playoff team.
No.
If they sweep the Cubs and Rich Hill gets the win,
no.
We're still hanging on.
Because then the magic's back. Then the magic's back. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Then the vibes are back.
All it took
Everything's good.
Was calling up Rich Hill. That's all it took.
All I'll say is when I was in Omaha with Dusty, I don't know whenever that was. It was right before Cags got called up. So June, what's called early June. Rich Hill had just been assigned to Omaha. And Dusty was throwing out the first pitch, along with like 7 other people, by the way. And we're standing there, and 2 baseball players are walking towards the dugout. And one looked like the pitching coach. Like, oh, let's just be. And then one.
He's got pitching coach vibes.
And it was Rich Hill. I mean, he looked like he could just be your pitching coach. 45 years old, and he's gonna make a start tomorrow, according to reports.
How hard do you think he throws now? Like 80, like
I bet he still pumps it to 90. I bet he still gets 91, 92. I don't know that as a fact. It might be in the 80s, man.
He posted a 5.36 ERA with a 1.62 WHIP in 9 AAA starts, 42 innings. He did record 10 strikeouts over 5 innings on July 13th.
Not bad.
That performance made him the oldest pitcher since Nolan Ryan to strike out at least 10 batters in a pro game at the AAA level.
Goodness.
I'm looking up his StatCast numbers from last year, trying to see his velocity. I thought maybe that would help. I can't believe I'm looking up. I'm in a deep dive of Rich Hill
What are
now.
you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, nowhere close to 90, Drew.
What is he at, like 85?
Last year, his pitch was around 87 to 88 miles per hour. That was 23.
Okay, so
last year he didn't get to 83. He was more like 87.
Okay, so it's probably more like 85 now.
It might still be 86 to 88.
You know,
give him a little bit of credit. He also struck out 10 in his last AAA start, didn't he?
That means
brings up a good point. Are we sure is
Brian?
Brian Sweeney unavailable tomorrow? They just need a pitching coach tomorrow as well. What's the story? What's going on?
Just like a pitching machine. Just have the.
Dang.
That's
he
tough.
has pitched in 386 big league games. 248 as a starter over a 20-year
The road to 400.
career.
The road to 400. I'm telling you,
He was quoted in an interview with WBSC a week ago. I don't feel like I'm whatever his age is.
45, I think you said?
Yeah.
He's 45.
Yeah, I feel I'm still young. Well, not young. As a player, I still feel like I'm in my 20s.
This is where baseball is
I'm
still so
convinced
funny.
that if he wins tomorrow, Cody, I think we're all back in. Except for Gold, I guess, in this case. I'm back in.
I talk about Rich Hill like he's a geriatric. We're pretty much the same age.
He's a baseball
It's
player.
just like it just feels so 45
Cody.
feels so old
Cody,
as a
the
baseball
Royals-
player.
the
And we're not
Roy-
even that far apart in age.
In a year in which the Royals have playoff expectations and they are
I wasn't
5.5
anticipating Rich Hill
back,
making a start.
Rich Hill is about to start in a series against the Chicago Cubs
Had a
at
lot of injuries.
Wrigley Field for the Royals.
But
IL
if they
for
win,
Lorenzen,
if
IL
they
for
win-
Lugo, IL for Reagan. Multiple guys
when
in
they
this time.
when they signed him, we said at the time
he might make a start.
I think he might make a start. And Vern's response to that was something went terribly wrong.
We'll talk to Vern on Thursday.
And here we are. It's happening tomorrow.
Oh, this would be perfect, too, because if he wins, you'll have to... Oh, this would be great.
Cup Series can't do anything for you, even in a sweep. 1 game below 500. Let's call it 3.5 out of the wild card spot. You don't want to get a little juice back, or you got to wait. You got to see the real thing.
Yeah,
don't
Cody,
you?
it's got to be more for just we can't play this game of lose a series, then get a sweep,
No,
which they
I
don't do,
know.
and then we're back. Like
They don't
every
even-
week,
they're not
like
getting
on
sweeps.
Monday we're out, on Friday we're in, on Monday we're out, on Friday we're in. I'm not playing
I
that
haven't
game.
done that to this point.
I'm not
just
doing
asking,
that.
Can the Cup
I know.
Series,
I'm not doing that
because
No,
they got the second best
gotta
record in baseball. Do anything
win
for
the
it.
series against the Cubs. Win a series this weekend back at home with Flo Rida in
They gotta
attendance.
stack 'em.
Flo Rida concert Saturday at the K.
You gonna
go? Maybe.
Ooh, you want to see Flo Rida?
I mean, who would be on the mound? Rich Hill? Too quick.
I mean, I don't think his arm can handle 5 days rest. Is he getting 5 days rest now? Feels like it should be 6, 7 at least, right? Can Lorenzen be back by then? No, I don't think it might be Rich Hill again. I don't know what to tell you. Or Dallas Keuchel. What if they took turns going up and down from the minors, making starts?
Oh gosh,
is that worse for you?
No, I think what would be more diabolical is if they win with Rich Hill, they can't with whoever else. Keuchel comes up, they win with Dallas Keuchel, and then they can't win with anybody. It's like they win whenever they bring up Keuchel or Hill, but they struggle the rest of the time.
The Royals' problem, going back to like what we were talking about the other season, their issue to me is that I do not think that they are a talentless team that has no hope. They're around 500. That's not what talentless teams do. I know what bad teams look like. Really bad teams look like. They don't look like this team. They have a really bad unit. They are awful on offense, and that is maintained for the entire